Okay, now do I hear myself? Now do I hear myself? Shoot. Hey guys, in the chat, can you hear me?
Perfect wine. But I hear a different calling, the call of a schmear of cream cheese. For I am a sommelier. I practice my craft at Philadelphia. Here, we use only the freshest milk. That one, go! And the finest ingredients.
What is this?
Until perfection is achieved.
He's ready. Schmears!
Philadelphia, schmear perfection.
Burn cleaner and get paid. Replace your old dirty wood-burning stove, insert or open hearth fireplace, and get up to $3,000 in incentives. Visit valleyair.org/burn cleaner for more information.
Everyone uses their phone differently. That's why Xfinity Mobile lets you design your own data. You can share 1, 3, or 10 gigs of data between lines. Mix in lines of unlimited and switch it up at any time. All with millions of secure Wi-Fi hotspots and the best LTE everywhere else. It's a different kind of wireless network designed to save you money.
Dude, I can't even
Switch
hear
and save up
myself
to
in my ears.
$400 a year on your wireless bill. And save even more when you say,
crap.
bring my own phone into your voice remote.
I feel
That's
like such
simple,
an idiot
easy,
without Philly
awesome.
here. You have no idea.
They said, is this channel sponsored by Philly cream cheese now? Because that's the commercial that's coming up.
So can everybody hear us?
Yeah, but it's super quiet. And there's a commercial, so you must have a tab open.
Yeah, it's this right here.
Yeah, so pause that or X out of it.
How are we gonna watch these motherfucking debates? What the hell? Okay. Oh, geez. Finally. There.
And then turn the mics up.
Gosh. Okay. So the mics need to go up right now, right? To this? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, jeez. That was painful.
Cody, come back.
That was like really painful. Okay. So now. Okay, cool. So, hold on. Let's get this out. Boom.
Is my mic on?
Yes. Okay, so here we go. Oh, geez. Now I got to fix that camera. Hold on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Problem Solver Politics live stream. I guess I can't put those hats on. Hey, babe, can you toss me my Problem Solver Politics hat right there? Mm-hmm. Yeah, rock on.
Ready?
Boom. I'm ready. Got it. Okay. So, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. It is official. We are here live watching the debates. Can everybody hear me? I want to make sure that we are in like Flynn and do a little sound check, y'all, because as you know, I'm by myself here, and without Cody, I'd be booming. I'd be booming real bad. All right. But we're going to watch this thing together. You'll actually notice that we got the live stream. Oh, shoot. Did OBS just crash? Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. You'll notice we got the live stream right there. Third camera. We got me here. I am Cardinellis. Glad to be here. Along with Brittany the Shadow. What's up, Brittany?
Hey.
Yeah.
Where's my camera? This
Your
one?
camera's right there. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I
know.
Oh, that's what you do.
Yeah, we're all looking at different cameras here. And then there's Harry Reid. And we've had to like do everything backwards. So hopefully all of the algorithms and the copyright strikes and everything that everybody wants to claim happens, or that we do doesn't happen. So anyway, happy to be here. And we're checking out all of the stream right now, seeing what people said. So stand by, just give us a couple of seconds as we get ready. So hopefully by 5:45, we are up and running, and I'm doing this thing correctly. Okay, cool. So we got to keep this open. Now, how am I going to see the debates? You're watching the debates on your headphones, right?
I'm going to have to switch my headset.
Why?
Because this I can only hear the live stream. I can't hear the TV.
But you can hear me loud enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch this on my phone right here. Putting the camera on you because you're prettier.
Oh. Oh, hey.
Want to start answering some of the questions in the chat, babe, just while we're waiting?
Sure. But I don't know how I'm supposed to hear the debate. I can't hear anything on the debate.
With the headphones on.
I don't hear the debate.
Oh, turn up the volume on the laptop.
It is.
Do I get to see this freaking video yet? Boom.
Hey, everybody. How'd I do? Do I sound
Okay,
like Cody?
this is Gold Cardin. LOL, this is for your strugger. Oh, dude, it's so bad. It's so bad. I haven't even turned on all the lights yet. So hold on. Just give me one more second. We've got 5 minutes before we're live on this debate, baby. 5 minutes before it goes down. And it's going down. So just enjoy Brittany the Shadow. Talk with Brittany the Shadow until we get it up. Really fast, let's just do a mic check for everybody. This is me. I'm on Cody the Oracle's mic. Hopefully I sound good. And Brittany, how do you sound, girlfriend?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. And then the reversed backwards live stream with the Problem Solver Politics hat in it so nobody can say that we were cheating. Boom. Right back there. Okay, 5-minute warning. Where's the other light? There's supposed to be another light, dude.
I don't know.
That looks so dark.
You are the new shadow.
Yeah, that's true. Boom. There we go. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Yeah. Okay.
Carter.
Yeah.
Matt McDonald says, I want a live stream of Cody seeing the board after it gets carded.
Yeah. All right, so now we can finally get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Problem Solver Politics live stream. As you can see here, we are waiting for the official debate to get started. For copyright reasons, you're not going to actually be seeing a lot of that debate because NBC and CNN are big-time sticklers on having all kinds of different interns with nothing better to do than to try and say that we're not obeying the laws of YouTube as they are correctly defined and correctly followed by our channel. So every once in a while, just so you guys know exactly where we are and we can all make sure we're on the same page with the companion stream, you might see me give you a little glimpse right now of where we're at, but then we'll quickly come back to the regular commentary stream. This is indeed a companion stream, much like Brittany the Shadow and I are companions in life. This stream is a companion to whatever venue you want to use to watch the debates. Right now we're going to be watching on NBC and or the MSNBC app because it looks like they are hosting the fastest and most recent live stream. So as we are right now, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, big time live watching yonder debates. And hold on, I'm going to see if I can
Everyone
make
wants to know where
this.
Cody is.
Oh,
Should we make something up?
no, just say where he is, babe.
Oh. He has another job to do tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but Cody's got a job.
I wanted to make something up that's cooler. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, he's picking up the goods or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just be super vague about it.
Yeah, but no, actually, what's going on is Cody is busy actually helping another radio show. He splits his time between Problem Solver Politics and a different radio show. And so we are just happy recipients here. Is it focusing, babe? Is that one focusing? Can you touch it and see if it's on my face? Actually, forget about it. It's good enough. So anyway, really quick in the chat, let me know what you guys think and what you guys are excited for. I don't know about you guys, but I am kind of a little bit stoked out of my mind, just a little bit stoked out of my mind to see how Tom Steyer and Bloomberg react to each other, because Tom Steyer has been screwed by all of these rule changes that have happened really in Michael Bloomberg's favor. Tom Steyer's been playing by the rules, dumping sometimes $7 to $1 into getting some of those individual donations just to have the donations taken away by guess who? By which guy? Boom shakalaka. This guy, the dude that's on stage, none other than the infamous Tom Perez, ladies and gentlemen. Where is he, Tom? Get close up on Tom. Oh, they're not going close up on Tom. Dang it. Anyway, yeah, Tom Perez basically unilaterally has changed multiple rules. Actually, without consulting with the rules committee of the DNC. And for a guy in a party that complains about Donald Trump being a tyrannical, dictator, it seems kind of odd that they would just change a bunch of rules so that the seventh most wealthy man in the world and potentially the biggest oligarch of the American plutocracy we live in can just have, an easier way to make it towards the nomination. So anyway, we're getting close here. It's supposed to be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So I'm actually going to try and make it so that I can see my little debate thingies right here. And yeah, Cody's probably going to be tripping when he gets back, thinking like, what on earth did Cardin do to change around the studio? But hey, look, we're making it work tonight. We're making it work. Anyway, there's a Halfbreed 0202 said there's a dude waving a Nevada for Yang sign on the NBC stream right behind the anchor. Oh, that's epic. I have not had a chance to see it yet. Right now, what we're looking at is, do you guys remember this guy? Oh, you remember him? Remember my screen went out. Oh, my screen went out. Oh, we're going to talk about Andrew Yang, but my screen went blank. Yeah, that's our boy. So anyway, are there any cool, if you guys got any super chats you want to throw away, any burning questions that we can get into before we actually do the debate, that'd be awesome. Oh, speaking of which, Devlin Duck Hodges, Cardin, without Cody censorship, I'm pretty stoked. Oh, hey, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. What do you think, Bird? I see you laughing over there. I see you laughing.
Yeah. I don't censor you, so this might be a Cardin show.
No way, man. That's why you're here. You're the new Oracle. Brittany the Shadow is the new Oracle.
The Shadow.
Yeah. Different role play, huh?
Yes.
Ooh, role play.
Oh, hey.
Holla.
Hey, yo.
Anyway, all right. Cardin, you're too conservative to be doing this on your own, says Timothy Langan. No way, man. I'm a member of the Smart Party. That's what I am. And I actually was thinking a lot about this today. Oftentimes, people say that the sweet spot in American politics is actually being fiscally conservative and socially liberal. But I actually think that our society is in many ways, very fiscally liberal. I mean, for heaven's sakes, we had a Tea Party over like a 0.5% excise tax. Yet here in California now, you're paying 54%. You know what I'm saying? Members of many Christian denominations give 10% of their income to their church and don't really have problems with what is really a high taxation. They just demand good benefits from these programs, which is kind of more a socially conservative take on life. And just our general views of marriage, raising family, hard work, the average American idea that participation trophies are stupid and we should give out trophies for winning, not just participating. I think in many regards, we're actually not fiscally conservative and socially liberal, but socially conservative and fiscally liberal. And I'm curious to see what anybody else thinks in the chat about that. Gurky says Cody is prettier because he's smarter. Ouch. I'm getting burned, man.
That's rude.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's all good. Then we've got Cardin, FYI, you're sitting in the wrong spot. Yeah, that's true. I'm in Cody the Oracle spot. He's working tonight at another gig. Ooh, we got a super chat from Silver Fang. Bird, hit it.
Should Yang support Tulsi because she supports UBI?
I would love it if, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this, babe, or you want me to take it?
This is going to sound rude, but I don't think anyone should support Tulsi because I don't think she's going anywhere.
No.
So I think you're throwing away your support.
Okay, so you are a very practical woman, and that's what I was actually going to bring up, is you always have to ask what's in it for me, for these candidates, and what is in it for Tulsi. I think idealistically she'd like to see a man like Andrew Yang in the office, and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, take Barack Obama choosing Joe Biden versus John McCain choosing Sarah Palin in the 2008 election. When Barack Obama chose Joe Biden, the newcomer with a lot of charisma chose the establishment guy that brings a lot of those swing states to the table. Joe Biden, just with Pennsylvania alone, is bringing like 12 or 13. Well, actually, it's probably too much. It's probably like 8. Pennsylvania's probably got 8. I don't know. Don't quote me. But he at least brings all of Pennsylvania and then a lot of the culturally similar swing states in the Rust Belt to it, okay? Whereas Sarah Palin brings to the conservatives the 2 electoral votes of Alaska. That's it. Sorry, there's no British Columbia electoral votes from the neighboring states, okay? So you would have to put yourself in Tulsi's shoes and say, what is in it for Tulsi Gabbard to support Andrew Yang? And at this point, her career's over in politics. The DNC hates her. She stepped down in order to support Bernie Sanders in 2016. She's called out every single person on the stage for every single crime that they've committed. And she's already said she's not seeking re-election in the Senate. So at this point, she needs to be going for the presidency itself, throwing up a Hail Mary, or needs to be going for some kind of VP slot that might rebirth her image amongst the DNC. Because in the establishment, Tulsi Gabbard is unfortunately toast. The establishment hates her for the truth she has spoken. And that's actually an indictment of the DNC. That one of the most truthful people saying one of the most liberal things, how Kamala Harris kept people in jail in order to have them as free labor to fight California wildfires. She literally created indentured servants to the state using her attorney generalship. Okay, and that's a very illiberal thing. That's a right-wing authoritarian position to take in the 1920s, not a left-wing liberal Democrats position to take in the aughts in Southern California and Northern California. So unfortunately, yeah, it is an indictment of the DNC. So, we got some other super chats. You got to call them out because I don't see them on the screen as much.
Well, I only see one from Devlin.
Hit it.
Is that the one you see?
Yeah.
It says Brittany is that greater than?
Yep.
Dude, I haven't been in school in a long time. Brittany is greater than Cardin and Cody. Kidding. Ouch. 4D Yang chess. Okay, so first you compliment me and then you backtrack it. That's rude. And I don't know what 4D Yang chess is.
Oh, playing 3D chess is a terminology saying that like you're playing a game that is so complicated that lots of people around it don't understand. And if you're even one level above 3D chess, you're in 4D chess. Oh. So pretty soon somebody's going to call it 5D postmodern chess where there's not even a board. Oh. You know what I'm saying?
I only like wizard chess.
Yeah, so...
you didn't even know what that was from, did you?
Probably you're a Harry Potter girl, so I assume it's a Harry Potter thing, right?
That's right.
So Gurky says Tulsi is sexy. I'd agree. She's much better in a pantsuit than most people, and she surfs, which ultimately just makes you cool. And cool and confident is ultimately sexy. Mm-hmm. That's why we married Brittany the Shadow. Boom shakalaka. Holla. And... Bobby Hughes has a great idea. Conservatives are not the enemy. Bad ideas are. You know, I really like that, Bobby Hughes. I can dig that. And FD plus VAT, only dividend trickle up VAT cannot be gamed. Darcy, first off, thanks for being a member. Second off is everything can be gamed. So we need to get better, more interesting, more moral people in Congress. And that's kind of one of the great dichotomies of American politics is if you ever poll people and ask them, what do you think about your congressman? The average American says, oh, my congressman's doing great. Oh, my congressman fights for me in Washington. Oh, my congressman is awesome. The average person for their congressman has like an 85, 90% approval rating. It's something absurdly high. But when you ask them, how is Congress as a whole doing? The approval ratings are like 15%, 10%, 20%. So there's this great hypocrisy not hypocrisy, but there's this great anomaly amongst the American voters where we like our guy, but as a whole, we think they all suck. So one thing I've noticed is that in my life, politicians become a lot more depraved and a lot more corrupt. So we need to root that out. We need to repair our social fabric, our church organizations, our faith organizations, our Boy Scout organizations, our Girl Scout organizations, our PTAs, our scuba diving, fan clubs, and all these things that bind us together and help us instill morality in the next generation. We need to bring those back. And if we don't, we'll just keep getting more depraved people, kind of like Buttigieg. So anyway, here, as you guys can see, boom shakalaka, they're getting on the stage. They're getting ready to roll. It's on like Donkey Kong.
It's going to be painful. I hate these debates.
Okay. So she literally just said we're going to start the Democratic debates here in Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, be excited. It's about to go down. Let's see what they have to say. Ooh, Lester Holt's going to be announcing him? What a dapper guy. He always has good suits. I don't like whoever does his hair. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes his ties are bland, but he always has very crisp, good-looking suits. I give the man credit where credit is due. All right, so it looks like from left to right, we got Mike Bloomberg. Now, here's the question. We got Mike Bloomberg, Elizabeth Warren, looks like that's Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and on the far right, I couldn't see there. Who do we got? Man, now here's the question. Are they going to show his feet? Do they actually have to put him up on a podium or not? And I would love to be a fly on a wall and on the wall and figure out what it is that they're writing, because they all act like they're furiously writing. What is it that they're writing? So anyway, we got some more questions here. I want to hear Andrew's commentary. Yeah, that'd be great. Hopefully he'll be tweeting up. We'll follow that if we can get it. Gonna get some soup and enjoy the SHIT show, says the Nobody Project. Yep. This Bernie shite is dividing us. I think that's very true. Carden, can you turn up the stream audio, or is that illegal? Illegal, asks Nick Otzi. Yeah, it's not illegal. It's in the guidelines of YouTube that under fair use, we are allowed to make commentary and reaction to other live streams and other copyrighted material, that it all falls within fair use. However, a lot of these organizations like NBC and CNN know that even if what we're doing is legal and is correct and is protected by law, if they copyright strike us, that copyright strike will take 14 days to get through the bureaucracy of whether or not it was correct or not. And so what they do is they purposefully try and strike anybody that uses any of their material, whether it's legal or not, just to disincentivize people from using their material. And it literally is corporate bullying. And it's part of the reason why I think the freedom dividend would have been so good when we were following Andrew Yang, because I think it would have empowered people to fight back. Because the truth is, unfortunately, the only streams that do this are, you'll see like Crowder, who's got his own YouTube representative because he's got so many millions of followers. Steven Crowder has his own YouTube representative. Guess who else does? Oh yeah, David Pakman on the left. He has his own YouTube representative. So if something goes wrong, he's got somebody he can directly email and say, hey, yo, what's up? Smaller channels that don't have millions, people that just have tens of thousands like us, we're just left to whatever, employee happens to read the email when they get around to it and they've got 10 days to respond. But if we were cut off right now, you guys don't care what we think 10 days from now, because that's a whole different news cycle. So it is legal, but we avoid it. And also, so does David Pakman. Many other streamers have actually completely moved to Twitch for the live streams, and we might do the same thing. We might actually do the pre-show of the debates here on YouTube and then move to Twitch, which is far more cooperative with streamers and fair use for the debate coverage. So I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's see what they got to say right here. Give us a second. Interesting. They're interviewing a guy in the audience, and he says that Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar seem to be the ones that he's deciding. between. Wow, I wonder why that is.
Who supports Klobuchar?
Yeah.
I don't know anyone. I haven't talked to anyone that says, I'm going to vote for Amy.
What's her slogan?
I don't even know.
Yeah, you as a woman, they're always wanting to tackle your demographic.
Yeah.
And act like, you're the saviors of the world that choose the best people.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are, but
yeah, that's a fair analysis.
yeah.
But I don't know what of the people on this stage, who do you think is the best so far?
I don't know. That's like saying, do you like dirty water? Do you like muddy water? I don't know. Water? I like clean water, so I guess none.
Dirty water or muddy water? Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. All right, so something's going down. Okay. Well, you'll get my Amazon Prime sub, says Cool Out AC. Thank you very much. That's actually one of the things that we're planning on launching in March is a much better schedule of how our excuse me, what was I going to say? How our stream schedule is going to be. I'm with Amy, says Brandon David. Yes, you're right. I forgot that is. Whip your hair back and forth. That should be Amy Klobuchar's epic like signature move and signature slogan, because yeah, she's always doing it. Now we're getting the really cool propaganda. We're getting the cool propaganda intros. Boom shakalaka. I don't know about you guys, but anybody that remembers watching television, especially sports in the 80s and 90s, has to have a total appreciation for just how totally cool these productions are. I mean, with swooping camera shots, with all kinds of epic stuff going on. I mean, this is real television, baby. Look at that. And half of it's probably, it's not even green screen anymore like they used to. So anyway, we got Chuck Todd. He's not a liberal sellout, but he's kind of like, definitely, excusez-moi. He's definitely a lefty here, but probably one of my favorite Sunday shows, I do confess. Probably one of my favorite Sunday shows. Hold on, I'm going to have to mute my own phone if that's how I'm going to be watching this thing. All right, look at this. And the music is so epic. It sounds like we're about to go fight in the Hunger Games or something. What do you think, babe?
I love Hunger Games, but I don't want to participate.
Okay, so they're pumping up Bernie Sanders, surge, referencing Michael Bloomberg. Oh, and out of the gates, they're hitting up Michael Bloomberg and Bernie Sanders. Ooh, why is the Bernie Sanders revolution a better bet than Mike Bloomberg's? Okay, so he says that in order to beat Donald Trump, we need the biggest turnout in the history of the United States, which is true. Without a huge turnout, they are going to suffer an abysmal electoral defeat to Donald Trump. Now he's doing a Trump speech, and Elizabeth Warren has already raised her hand in order to speak. Oh, man. So now he's already starting his stump speech. And so he basically dodged the question in order to vilify millionaires and billionaires and has not answered why his social democrat revolution is better than the supposed Michael Bloomberg electable centrist non-revolution.
How far are we into the debate?
Yeah. We're into less than a minute. Oh, this is actually a good answer. What'd you guys think of Michael Bloomberg's answer? He literally says, if you want to beat him, don't take away 160 million people's health care. That's a pretty strong argument. And it's one of the biggest, strongest arguments against Medicare for all. Look at this. Dude, they can't avoid Orange Man bad. Look, they can't avoid it. Wait, what did she just say? Oh, dang it, man. We got to go back here. I want to see again. Oh, it's not letting me go back. Oh, come on. Come on. Let me see. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Are you still hearing it? Oh, no. It's off for a second. Oh, come on now. Come on now.
What's off?
My broadcast here.
Oh.
There we go. Now it's back. Oh, it skipped here. What did she say? Something about lesbians or whatever? That's what it literally said on the transcription on my screen.
I don't know. To be honest, I've kind of already tuned out the debate.
No.
And suburban voters. And I've done that as well. And I'm the only one with the receipts to have done that in Republican congressional districts.
Hey, the chat's got to help me out. Unfortunately, the signal that my phone was on where I was watching the debate, so it didn't, the sound didn't come through on the live stream, actually lost the signal for about 30 seconds here. What did Elizabeth Warren say?
She was attacking Bloomberg.
Oh, okay. Wow, Pedro Torres brings up a really good point. He says they are feeding into Bloomberg. Talking about him nonstop is a loss. That's exactly true. That is exactly true. These people cannot help themselves. Orange Man bad, and oligarch bad is a really bad strategy, and they're falling straight into it. Like, this is why I love the Bloomberg candidacy, because now the mask is off. We used to mask the plutocrats and the oligarchs. And now this guy is just walking in and dropping the money necessary to be the most popular guy in the room. And he's not even faking he's got a good personality for it. And now look, he's already eaten up all the talking time. Oh, now he's saying who can beat Donald Trump and who can do the job once they get in the White House, which is literally his slogan, that Mike can get it done. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Let's see what they got to say here. Keep going. Wow. Geez, what do you guys think about Michael Bloomberg's answer? Oh, coming out of the gate strong. Here's Joe Biden. Oh, strong out of the gates with Joe Biden. By the way, Democrats completely fear Michael Bloomberg more than Joe Biden now, and you can tell by what they're attacking first. They're going after Bloomberg, and look at this FaceTime. Bloomberg is getting all the FaceTime. I mean, this is impressive. Oh, we got to wake up as a party. That's a great Midwestern line. Oh, wow. He just called Michael Bloomberg and Bernie Sanders the two most polarizing. So he's trying to take the moderate lane. Oh,
Snap.
boom. That was hardcore. Let's put forward somebody who is actually a Democrat getting the biggest cheers of the night. Ooh, one wants to put this party down. The other wants to buy this party out. That's brutal. And you know that's a totally pre-rehearsed line, but it was a good pre-rehearsed line.
Oh, the billionaires, Cardin.
Yeah. So look, check this out. Sanders is ahead, but look at who is in second place. Oh, dude, Sanders just took a torch to Bloomberg. Including 46 billionaires. Wow, dude. Bernie Sanders is going to town on Pete Buttigieg right now. Oh, Bernie Sanders is at war with the culinary union in Las Vegas? Ooh. Coming out of the gates, this is hard, man. So the talk time is going to skyrocket. Look at this. Sanders is taking it away, and Buttigieg is right there behind him now. Look how these vultures in the press just love this kind of stupid political theater. But let's be honest, I do too. Okay, so here we go, guys. Right now they're asking the question of Elizabeth Warren. This is weak, man. Oh, she's going after Bloomberg, saying that he was just blaming African Americans and Latinos. Okay. Okay. Okay, Elizabeth Warren is speaking right now. We're just listening to her answer, and we'll analyze afterwards. Okay, now that was anecdotal, but you want to know what? Anecdotes work. People like it. Humans respond very, very well to stories. Makes her kind of look like a hero. I think it was a little bit of a weak anecdote, but I think that's something that Andrew Yang struggled at, and anybody that wants to win this going forward needs to be able to be a good storyteller. And Bloomberg's actually fighting for a little bit of attention here. He's only getting negative attention of people attacking him. You can see he's actually dropped down here to fourth. We're going to see how this goes. Ooh. Wow. Bernie Sanders literally says we need to end viciousness and ugliness online.
It's interesting.
I think that's officially like a bigger pipe dream than Medicare for all. Ooh, Buttigieg is going after Sanders again. Why is it especially the case amongst Bernie Sanders supporters that they're so vicious? This is great. Wow.
Karin, how do you want to handle super chats?
What'd you say?
How do you want to handle super chats?
Oh, just read them.
Okay, Brett Merriweather, who's the chick and where's the oracle?
Oh, well, you can answer that.
I am Brittany the Shadow.
Yeah.
And the oracle had another job tonight. He left us. Just for the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Cody the Oracle is out and about right now tonight. Look, let's be honest. He's on a hot date. Yeah. So we all got to wish him well, all right?
Prayers for Cody.
You know?
Danielle Henderson, you might say Sanders burned them. Oh, you could.
Devlin Duck Hodges says, Yang does no wrong, but you do. That's funny. Bernie is a real threat. Yeah, that's true. I've always said anybody that doesn't, that underestimates him is a fool.
I am a fool then.
And I love that Pete Buttigieg is going after the Bernie bros because it's true. You can't defeat hate with hate. You have to defeat it with love. Oh, yeah, because if you nominate a woman, you're going to end sexism on the online. Says the boomer. Oh, this is epic. Wow, there's some serious Bernie Sanders attacks going on right now. Serious.
It is spicy.
Yeah, this is crazy. And now Chuck Todd with the bowl cut is going after Bernie Sanders' healthcare plan. Wow. The establishment is getting angry at Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders' playtime might be over.
Devlin super chatted says, Mi nombre es Brittany y amo a Cardin.
Y amo a Cardin.
That means
Yeah,
my
actually,
name is Brittany and I love Cardin.
Yeah, you technically use the term quiero a Cardin. But you could say
Devlin.
amo. Amo is like a little bit more deep. Like I love you profoundly.
Oh.
You know?
Heyo.
Dude, Devlin Duck Hodges, the man right there. Dude, you know, as much as I don't like Bernie Sanders' ideas, I really don't like that the establishment goes after him because you want to know what? This brother earned every ounce of attention that he gets. And, you know, he does have some really crazy, psychotic followers because socialism and these fringe ideas really attract crazy, psychotic people. But at the end of the day, you know, if people, you can't arrest people for their ideas and their political speech and their political thoughts. You can only arrest them for their actions. And these people haven't committed any poor actions other than being cruel online. And at the end of the day, that's something that's never going to go away. So you got to get used to it. Bernie Sanders earned his spot on stage. And the fact that the DNC is trying to undermine him really boils my blood. I am the furthest thing from being a Bernie bro that there probably is in the United States of America. But let me tell you, I burn brightly furious when I see how people gang up on him for simply having bad ideas. Bad ideas are not the enemy of the American people, okay? Bad actions and bad faith are. Dude, Elizabeth Warren is ripping on Buttigieg and on
Everyone is
Klobuchar
like
tonight.
swinging punches.
This is a great night, man. I am loving this. What do you think, babe?
I mean, it's entertaining. I'm gonna have to, if I have to watch it, I want to be entertained. So I'm entertained.
Yeah. Dustin says, me too, Cardin. Me too to what, brother? She name checked you first. So that's the phraseology we're using now. Is name checking. I like it. Hey, let's see where these people are recently. All right, here we go. Sanders is crushing it. Crushing it with a solid minute ahead of everybody else. This is great. Wait, is Pete Buttigieg saying that the DNC and the Democratic approach to healthcare is full of all kinds of wild bigotries and soft bigotries and condescension? Wow, he almost sounds like a Midwestern Republican. Wow, what's he doing?
Isn't he the one that just said we need to hire a true Democrat?
Yeah. Oh, man, she looks really angry when she gets angry. Or she looks a little bit crazy. Like the librarian that's tapping on the window telling you not to make any more noise. At least Klobuchar looks like she's having fun.
Professor Umbridge.
Oh, that's a great response. Post-it notes were invented in Senator Klobuchar's state. That's epic. Yes, a lot of people say Biden looks lost. Wake him up. Man, I mean, look at this graph.
Has he talked yet?
Yeah, he's talked for 1 minute and 4 seconds. That's it.
I missed that then.
While Sanders has had 5 minutes. Right now, Biden is hanging out in Yang territory down here. I mean, look at that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to refresh this really fast. But I mean, this is intriguing stuff right here. Boom. Biden is seriously trailing in Bloomberg territory. I mean, everybody's raising their hands. This is nuts. This is the most lively debate that we've had since we started this. Chuck Todd's trying. Look at Chuck Todd. What a cute little guy. He's trying. Oh, it's my turn now. That's awesome. Yeah, because if you add up the populations of France, Germany, and Canada, you don't even have California. All right? So.
Oh.
Dude, Bernie Sanders brought a blowtorch to the debate today. I don't know, chat. Tell me, what do you guys think of Bernie tonight? I'm loving Bernie Sanders tonight, dude. This is epic Bernie, dude. Oh, he comes in with a solid one-liner. I'm the only one that actually got anything done on this stage. Oh, that was epic. Awesome. Here we go. Ooh, good epic sweeping and pan shot. Wow, this is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. This is totally awesome.
So I actually took a look at the plans that are posted. Mayor Buttigieg, there are 4 expenses that families pay.
Wow.
Premiums, deductibles, copays, and uncovered medical expenses.
Dude, Buttigieg is actually bringing it tonight, man.
Only on premiums. And that means families are going to pick up the rest of the cost. Amy, I looked online at your plan. It's 2 paragraphs. Families are suffering and they need a plan. You can't simply stand here and
Oh, dude, the people that are throwing more dirt are the ones that are winning this thing, it looks like. I mean, the measurable quantifiers show that. The 2 most progressive, quote, people are the ones that are getting the most amount of talk time and attention. Bloomberg's basically been told he's a loser, and Biden is just barely over him in terms of time. I mean, this is the night of the progressives calling the establishment a bunch of losers with some really funny lines. This is literally bred in circuses.
I miss Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, Marianne Williamson was nice,
I
wasn't she?
liked her.
Ooh, brutal. All right. Oh, Bloomberg just put Biden in his place. Let me finish, thank you. It's like when Donald Trump is like, quiet, hush, quiet, to the fake news. This is epic.
I like Bloomberg.
Yeah, dude. Like he's just coming in. He's like, shut up, dude, or else I'm not going to contribute to your campaign next time. All right. All right. Biden making his way back into the light. Oh, we got some super chats, babe.
We do.
Yeah, you seen them?
I see one
I want to make sure I haven't missed any.
from John's
Yeah.
JHNS.
Yeah, that's awesome.
CH. How many illegal immigrants are you accounting for?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question. To be honest with you, nobody actually knows how many illegal immigrants are in our country. I've heard estimates as low as 10 million. I've heard estimates as high as like 30 million. And the truth is, we don't really know. We can't tell. It really varies by state. It varies by time. And it varies by our economic situation. Because we actually had a period, I think, in 2014 and 2015 in which we actually had reverse immigration, where there was not reverse, but it was like the lowest amount of illegal immigration we'd had in decades because our economy was poor. Wow. Dude, these people are like going after low-hanging fruit, and this is the number one thing that Bloomberg is going to rehearse right off the bat. So of course he's going to defend stop and frisk. And of course he's going to give a decent answer because he's paid a publicist who's probably freaking amazing to write up what that decent answer is. And he's rehearsed 17 different versions of it. Did somebody really just try and call out Bloomberg for stop and frisk? I mean, come on. Carla Mae Chan says fights in the nursing home. This is hilarious. Darcy says, so Miss Yang, Marianne H. Making a couple of good, solid comments, too. Thanks for your memberships, guys. Same with Captain Kel Diggs. That must be a new member. I don't remember him from before. And Darcy, what's up?
I can't stand Biden.
Really? You're not a big fan of Biden?
I'm not a fan of Biden.
Oh, bummer. Yeah. Sorry, bro. Dude, this literally looks like two people arguing over who's going to be the next pope in the papal election. You know what I'm saying?
I like Bloomberg. I don't think he's a good speaker. He's not very eloquent, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Hey, so I'm curious, what do you like about him? Because, babe, you called the Trump candidacy and the likability of Trump earlier than any person I know.
I know.
I mean, so what is it that makes you say, oh, I kind of like Bloomberg? By the way, chat, don't blow her up too hard. Don't blow her up too hard. Let her qualify this first, all right? Go on, let her qualify it. No, but honestly, what makes you think that, like, because I'm kind of in the same way. To a certain extent, I'm like, hey, well, I'd rather have the reality of a plutocracy and see the monster face to face than the one around the corner hidden behind the mask. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is it that makes you like Michael Bloomberg?
I don't know. I can't quantify it. I don't know. I just, maybe it's because he came into the race later. So I'm like, oh, finally. Like, I don't know. But I literally can't stand Warren. I don't like Biden. Sanders, I think Sanders deserves the nominee, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, okay.
So he's out. Pete.
Do you like his ideas, or do you just recognize that he deserves the nomination because
Bernie?
he earned it? Yeah.
No, I hate his ideas. I just think that he's earned it.
Okay, yeah, I'm in the exact same boat as you. Maybe that's why we got married.
Yeah.
All right, they're coming up on clobbering time. Ooh. Doesn't that look like a judge just looking down on you before she sentences you to death? Oh, the NAACP called for somebody to resign. Wow, that's hard to believe. Yawn. Brimstone Vaughn literally said, Amy Klobuchar with the Disney supervillain face. Yeah, that's totally true. If I ever get hired to produce some kind of piece of animation, I'm going to screenshot that and just say, here's your villain right here.
It's not nice. Don't do personal attacks.
Well, no, she had like this grimace, like resting biznatch face. Like, it was pretty funny. Wow, for people that have so much African-American support, I don't really see a lot of African-Americans ever on the debate stage.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the people of color that make it high in the ranks of the DNC are superfluous. For having so much support, you'd almost think it was overwhelming that, you know, black people are storming the gates of the DNC to throw their ballots at them, except for, oh, wait, what do we see? What do we see? We see nothing but white people on the stage.
Well, Warren
nothing.
Warren is probably half black.
Is that what she's claiming now?
That's probably what she's claiming now.
User 14 brings up a good point. She says, watching without someone to root for makes it so ridiculous. I can't help but laugh. Dude, but to a certain extent, there's part of me that is honestly cheering for Bloomberg. Like, there's part of me that just wants his plan to work just to show that these people are completely bought and paid for. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? I don't know how more you can expose it after what Yang did. I don't know how better you could expose the depravity and the corruption of the DNC at this point than just having somebody go in and buy it. I think you just got to have them go in and buy it. That's it. I loved how he pronounced vigor. Bernie Sanders is able to deal with the stress and the, at least he didn't say, the vigor of being a president.
I love your Bernie's impersonation. Makes my heart happy.
He's like, I'm totally willing to get a physical. Oh, man, you can't write those jokes. There's going to be 15 memes about turning to the left and coughing tomorrow, like 15 of them. Dude, Bernie is getting rocked, man. He's literally being told that he's having to level with people. You want to level? You want to level? Let's level, Pete. You're millionaires and you're billionaires. They're buying you up in the wine cave. $69 million, billion dollars. It's all from you, Mayor Pete. Mayor Pete, with your billionaires. Dude, I have heard the exact same stump speech from Bernie Sanders 3 times. Like, it's almost like a man that's going senile that keeps telling you the same story. Like my grandpa, I've heard I heard the same story probably 20 or 30 times. Yeah. Because whenever we talked about anything that was funny, he'd always just end up going back into this one story. And I have heard the $100 billion corruption of the pharmaceutical industry. The 6 out of 10 of the richest companies that make the top, 1%, or like it's to a point where it's almost ad nauseum. And who knows? Maybe that's key to his success. Fortunately, I make a lot of money, and we do business all over the world. So I'm basically like Donald Trump, except for instead of talking about my hands, I talk about I make a lot of money. Like he says, look, I'm really, really rich. And I say, look, I'm fortunate to make a lot of money. Oh, and look at them all raising their hands.
Uh-oh. I'm not reading the super chat from Devlin.
You're not? Request for Brittany to do a Bernie Sanders impersonation.
No.
Oh,
I
just
don't
try
even
it.
know where to begin.
Babe, just try it. All you have to do is just yell, like get real throaty and raspberry. Like, you know, you just from down here, and then add a little bit of Brooklyn, a little bit of like, you know, Brooklyn Jew mother mixed with kind of like mafioso father. And then just be like, the millionaires and the billionaires. And just start shaking your hands and adding explicatives, talking about how the people over there are getting rich because they're evil. And it's time to come clean. And just get crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier. And you become Bernard Sanders.
You do it so well. And I don't want to do a better job and like show you up. So
thanks, babe.
Yeah.
It's amazing how when Andrew Yang is on stage, everybody's mic is on. Or when Andrew Yang is off stage, everybody's mic is on and they can interject. What do you know? Ooh, Michael Bloomberg's getting Me Too'd right now. Like, is this really what we've devolved into, though, where in order to defend yourself, you have to talk about the percentage of women that you hire and not about whether or not they're good? Just because a movie is directed by a woman doesn't mean it's going to be good. Just because a movie is directed by a man, guess what? Doesn't mean it's going to be good. Just because it's directed by a transgender attack helicopter doesn't mean that it's going to be good. We need to talk merit in these things. Just because you hire a bunch of women, we don't know if they're full-time, we don't know if they're part-time, we don't know, like... That doesn't mean anything. And if we've really devolved into a conversation where the way that you say you're not sexist is by talking about the percentages you have of females in your company, that's just as crappy as all the Karens out there that tell all of the boomer activists, oh, no, I'm not racist. My best friend is black. Oh, I've got gay friends. Like 12% of my friends on Facebook are gay. You know, like that's stupid. That's not an argument to see whether or not you are indeed a bigot or not a bigot, okay? And then just having a bunch of anecdotal evidence with a rhetorical attack question is not journalism. Literally, by asking, hey, Michael Bloomberg, people have accused you of sexism. We think you are a sexist. Don't you think Democrats should have a better candidate than you? Shouldn't they expect more from their candidate? That's not a question. That's an attack, period. Try and respond, biznatch. That's propaganda. This is not journalism. This is not media. This is not a debate. This is BS, corporate propaganda, trying to steer people. I don't know. I'm surprised they're not trying to steer him towards Bloomberg because he's paying enough for ads. Oh, this is rich. Elizabeth Warren is saying some is how many? Yeah, like what? How much of your bloodline is American Indian? Some is how much? 1,024th? Canada? The company? Oh, she doesn't have the guts to look him in the face. This is why nobody thinks that she's authentic. Look at this. She doesn't have the guts to look him in the face as she's making the attack question.
Okay, I figured out why I like Bloomberg.
Okay, why?
Because he stays even-tempered. Everyone else is lashing out and they're throwing their arms and they're yelling and being angry. And Bloomberg is just like talking.
You know what? That's actually really true. That's the temperament question. So you're arguing from a point
his
of temperament.
Exactly.
So, as they
seems
said
like
in the notebook,
he seems like the adult in the room. He seems like the high school teacher who's moderating a high school debate.
yeah. Oh wow, this is hilarious. Interesting. Well, he's climbing up in talk time, and Biden is just still buried, man. Just still completely buried. Jeez, man. I'm curious in the chat. Does this outrage come across as authentic, chat? Well, that's stupid because if people sign a contract and an agreement, there's half to it. Like if they were paid and part of their payment was agreeing that they're not going to go to the press for getting this big payout, then you've missed the point of the payout. They didn't. This is stupid. Tim Manning says Brittany nailed it.
That's right.
Borden says they should respond to Biden. Shut up, you dog-faced pony soldier.
No personal attacks. I don't like personal attacks. Carla May Chan says, forget the debates. Let's pay Cardin to do impersonations. Done.
Dude, this person says, shouldn't you know more about one of our largest trading partners? You know, oh, dude, I love that accent, man. I just love it. Like,
where's it from, do you think?
Dude, that's the accent I grew up with here in Southern California, man. You grew up with it too, babe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a very kind of northern Mexican, Monterrey, Mexico City, Ensenada. Whenever they try and speak in English or Germanic language, the harder double versions of the vowels come across as the singular versions of the vowels in Spanish. And I don't know, it's endearing to me. I like it.
Yeah.
A lot of people's moms talk like that. It was pretty cool.
Ooh, Bloomberg is number 3 for speaking time.
Yeah, this is crazy. Guys, I got to know in the chat, do you think this is the best debate we've seen so far? I think this is by far the most entertaining debate. That third debate was sheer murder. Like pure murder. I remember me and Mary and H were dragging ourselves through this thing together. But this one's actually kind of funny. They put the two nice Midwestern people together.
True.
But at least they're facing each other.
Christian Solid said Yang would have been at 38 seconds by now.
Yeah.
Sad, but true.
That's true. Bernie Sanders has passed only 4. Oh, he's only passed 4 things, and one of them was renaming a post office.
Oh.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders is like a total do-nothing Democrat. He yells about the millionaires and the billionaires and the pharmaceuticals that are sold for exponential prices here in America that are cheaper in Canada because it's the Danish countries. You know, that's how you do a Bernie Sanders impression, is you just keep going crazier and crazier and crazier. Meanwhile, if you're doing an impression of a Midwestern person, you know what I'm saying? You just have them peaceably looking at each other nicely as they both hold their hands in the corners of the podiums. But I have respect for these two people that they're looking at each other. They're actually looking at each other. Lester Holt is literally being talked over and having to say, hello, 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 hello. This is funny. Gerald St. Augustine says, I don't want to be entertained. I want our lives to get better. You know, that's good. Gerald, I feel the exact same way, man. That's a really good comment. That's a really good comment. The librarian's getting angry again. Hey, look. Hey, she's defending a girl. They're like girl power. You know, actually, I got respect for that.
Background character Jay said, rest in peace, my headphones.
Oh. Dude, we got another super chat from John.
John Shh.
Yeah.
You know why? Because he has enough money to buy every single house in a 5-mile radius around everyone else on stage. He could just do this. Leave them to see people freak out about living in a ghost town. Calmness.
All right, rock on. Thank you. By the way, you got to tell us how to pronounce your name.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thanks for the euros, bro. And then Eldon2 says, Cardin, please keep up the Bernie impressions. Please feature Brittany more often. Love her. Holla.
Thanks, Eldon2.
What does Brittany have that I don't have? What's going on? Besides the obvious.
I was like, I can think of a couple things, but
there's gonna be like 17 dudes that are like, boobs, boobs.
Oh.
Yeah, but look, if you're making the argument that you got $750 million of aid to these foreign countries, and now they're leaving those countries more than ever, isn't that an absolute indictment of your either inefficacy as a statesman, helping us out with foreign policy and foreign aid, or an indictment of foreign aid itself and how it doesn't work? I believe in foreign aid, but if you're making arguments for it like that, the average person isn't going to think that it's doing anything. If by giving countries $750 million of sacrificed taxpayer money from the working class going to other countries instead of America first, and then they still want to come here and suppress all of our wages, you have not made a good argument about your personal capability and or the capability of foreign aid. This is foolishness. Hey, our boy's back. Whoa! Oh, his screen went blank. Oh, we're going to talk about Andrew Yang. Oh, my screen went blank. Oh, I don't wear a suit jacket. Whoa, what do you know? My screen went blank.
Dude, these headphones
are
hurting my earrings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Showing them off?
I'm not showing them off. I'm like
Are those
my
your
ears.
not your Eddie Bauer earrings? What are they?
Eddie Bauer.
Yeah, I know. That's like a 90s company. No, who's the chick that you buy it from?
Sarah Briggs.
Sarah Briggs. That was it.
Yeah.
Richard says, can't watch any more of this BS anymore, and I assume he's talking about the debates, not the Problem Solver Politics companion stream.
I hope not.
Benjamin McDonald says, such a dog and pony show. I think he meant to say dog-faced pony show. Benjamin Boyer says, F the DNC, hashtag still voting Yang, hashtag right in Yang. I feel your pain on that one. And I've actually had the moral question about that myself. What is of more value? Sending a message to the DNC that we haven't forgotten how you screwed Yang and voting for him, or just voting again for Donald Trump? That's a really interesting moral argument that I see a lot of people stuck in right now. I myself err on the side of voting for Donald Trump, but I myself have toyed very much, especially in a state like California where you vote really for Trump doesn't matter. I've toyed myself with the idea of just sending a message to the DNC here of who we value as a second place Democrat, maybe making our lives better here because we're just so single party rule. Maybe that might help more in some kind of weird, if you can't beat them, join them kind of way. You know, but then there's also the moral argument of who's fighting the fake news, who's restoring the social fabric. You know what I'm saying? Who's the one that's actually helping the economy, so on and so forth, that would justify a vote for Donald Trump. So that's actually a really, really good chat right there. Let us know what you guys think. If you have any super chats as to how people should vote now that Yang's out of the election, should they hashtag right in Yang or go Trump? I'd really like to see your opinions. You can super chat us so you can see it, or if you just can't afford the super chat, just write it in there and hopefully put a lot of exclamation marks or something like that so I know what you're saying and I see it in the feed. Oh, losing my voice, babe. Yeah, because the population, 90% of the population of Nevada is in those two areas. And he's talking about the Reno district. I lived in Reno for a while, greatest little city in the world. Hey, shout out to anybody in Reno. Is anybody from Reno here? That would be awesome. I want to know if anybody in the chat is actually a Renonian. I don't even know how you say it. Yeah, I'd like to know though. Okay, so we're getting a lot of right in Yang. Still voting Yang, says Christian Solid. Soilio says right in Yang. Lennon Ninel says there are people that genuinely support Bloomberg. Hey, Brittany here, Brittany the Shadow, has made a good argument about the temperament of Michael Bloomberg.
He seems like the only adult in the room.
Okay, you have a specific example?
Well, just like this whole debate, I haven't seen him, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen him throw his arms, I haven't seen him yell at anyone, and I think almost everyone else on the debate stage has. And I get it's a debate, it's heated, but you can still keep your cool.
Okay. You know, I think that's good. I think that's a good temperament argument right there. All right, so we're coming back. The climate crisis. The boogeyman where we can make up any nationalization of any industry in the name of climate. Some Nevada trivia, he says. It is the Silver State. What is the Silver State? Yeah, but according to what data? You say that the fastest warming cities, what, over the past year? Yeah, okay, that's possible. Even if you're having a downward trend of global cooling, there will be times where for sometimes 40, 50, even 100-year periods, you can be warming. Even though you're in a macro cooling trend, you can have a micro warming trend. And what is a century to humans? It's more than a lifetime. We haven't been able to record this data except for since the 80s. We are literally fleas sitting on the backs of dogs, trying to act like we understand all of the anatomy of everything that's happening on the dog. Like, to be able to say that we know exactly what's going on is unscientific, completely foolish. And then saying that the only way out of it is to nationalize everything in sight is beyond foolish. It's evil, and it's people using a moral good that the average American feels to be an environmental steward of the environment that God created and has given us as citizens of this beautiful land. It's manipulating that good intention that all of us have in order to push a socialist agenda. I don't even know if you can call it socialist. I wouldn't even insult it by calling it socialist. I would say a corporatist crony capitalist agenda. That's what I would say. Got another super chat, babe.
Yeah, Devlin says, I'm here for the Yang Bang. Right in Yang.
All right, rock on. Ducky Hodges puts it down. Yeah. Oh, high-speed rail. High-speed rail is going to fix everything. Okay. If high-speed rail were such a fix, Biden, why has high-speed rail not worked in the 50 years? No. The 100 years? No. The 150 years that we've had rails all over the world. No, the reason why people like Biden love it is because it's one of the biggest pork barrel projects the world has ever seen. Amtrak goes through every single congressional district as it winds its way, making sure that it gives a little bit of governmental money to X, Y, or Z person that's also a donor in their area. Amtrak is the most unprofitable government-sponsored program that they keep pushing, and it's sad because I love traveling by rail. But there's so much data that shows that if this was privatized, not only would it be a lot more efficient, a lot more environmentally friendly, but it would also serve the people better. But no, we keep pushing this idea that, high-speed rail is going to cure traffic on the 405 in Los Angeles. It's absolute BS. It's true. They're talking about this massive solar array that's out in Las Vegas, and it's this behemoth pork barrel project that costs more money than it will ever generate in electricity. It's had it's an abject failure, yet we still keep calling it a success. This is literally what failed banana republics do when they get caught in horrible public works projects that failed. It's like literally calling Chernobyl not a national disaster, but a national success. I speak with hyperbole, obviously, but I mean, this is bogus. Dude, so Sanders is crushing it right now with talk time, second with Klobuchar, third with Warren, and then Bloomberg is literally nipping at their heels with Biden and Buttigieg buried right now. Oh, I'm going to say something really controversial. No, it's not. It's not brave. It's going to be a progressive talking point. What do you have to say? Oh, you believe in science. Yeah, that was so controversial, Elizabeth Warren, to say you believe in science on a Democratic debate stage. BS.
Very brave. Kudos.
Okay, T says, I'm voting for Yang in the California primary, but I'm undecided about the general election. Yeah, you must be a registered Democrat. You can do that as a registered Democrat. And you, T, are amongst friends. I'd say probably 80% of the people that I've talked to in your situation are saying the same thing. That I'm going to vote for him in the primary because I want to send that signal to the DNC that we will not be forgotten. And I believe that. I think there's value in that, and I respect you, and I admire you, and I'm glad you're part of the PSP Army, baby. The PSP platoon. Whatever we're going to call ourselves. But, yeah, man. In the general, I hear you. What do you tell the workers, Bernie? Look at this, guys. You need to understand. This is literally hysteria, okay? And this is pure, sheer climate lies, okay? He literally just says, unless we do my plan, in 6 years, irreparable damage will be achieved, okay? And the only way that we can get out of it, out of this 6-year unpredictable predicament, is if we pass the Green New Deal that me and AOC's friends thought up, that just happens to nationalize and communize every single aspect of your life, which it literally does. Because anytime you need to go into a building to do anything, you are now under complete and total governmental jurisdiction. whether or not it's Energy Star compliant, whether or not it's green compliant, whether or not it's got enough insulation, whether or not it's got, copper PEX pipes or not. So he literally just did the 4 biggest lies. First off, we are only 10% of the world's pollution. The 2 biggest continents and the biggest polluters in the world are Africa and China. And unless you're going to come at me and say, yes, I advocate going to war with China over their pollution, then you are not acting in good faith or intellectual honesty. Because we could restrict every single one of our emissions. We could force ourselves to live in loincloths and eat grasshoppers like John the Baptist, emitting no more carbon dioxide than our breath. We could send America to the Stone Age, and we would only get rid of maybe 12% of the world's emissions, which is not going to stop us from going off of a 6-year cliff, which is based off of your bad math from scientists that you paid with government money that had to give you those results, or else you would threaten not to pay their money anymore. The biggest Bloomberg of science is the U.S. government, okay? Because the officials that get the pork barrel money for half of these studies know that they can leverage what reports these get. Go and look at the reports about the carpool lane and the success of the carpool lane in California. Most of the studies come out saying that, oh, no, it doesn't work. It has not reduced carbon emissions. In fact, many of the studies suggest carbon emissions have gone up since we've added the carpool lanes because it slows down general traffic. Oh, except for the studies that are paid for by the government. Because the studies that are paid for by liberal California have very drastically different results coming out of the UC system. They all say, oh, the results are inconclusive, so you can develop whatever policy you want. Yeah, science has nothing to say here. No. When it's against Democrats, oh, no, science has nothing to say here. No, inconclusive. The data's inconclusive. Yeah, no, you're right. We need to nationalize everything within 6 years, or else we're all going to die because we haven't been able to figure out a better answer because we're the scientists. Oh, but the second Donald Trump comes out and says he thinks that half of this crap in the media is a hoax, they say, science denier! Science denier!
Easy.
It's absolute idiocy and insanity. And anybody that believes this is either a bad faith actor or intellectually dishonest or needs to learn something and read a book. Okay, what? What's so funny?
Marianne H. says, starting to talk at Cody speed.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Let's check out these talk times again. So which corporate executives are going to put in jail for climate change? He's just asked. Great. Good question. Oh, he says we're going to eliminate subsidies for oil and gas. Okay. Well, gas is how we heat our homes. Oil is how we heat our homes, and natural gas is also how we heat our homes, how we barbecue on the 4th of July, how we perform all kinds of vital tasks, such as giving heat to the hospital that's in the corner of our street. So, okay, yeah, let's get rid of all the subsidies that make it so that elderly people can afford to stay warm in the winters in Minnesota. Yeah, let's kill a bunch of old people.
Solid.
That's a great idea. That's a really, really good idea. Stalin in the Volodymyr, he was like, you know what? Let's just not give free food subsidies to Ukraine anymore. In fact, let's make them ship out all of their food because these people don't deserve to live anyway. And they were starving so badly that they knew who was cheating the shipments because if you weren't dead, skinny, or on your deathbed, they knew you were eating. And they'd follow you home, figure out where you're hiding your food, and then kill your family for having eaten your food. This is literally Voldemort stuff here. I swear, I sound like Alex Jones.
Did you say Voldemort?
The Voldemort is pronounced the Holdemort, and it means the Great Starvation in the Ukraine.
I didn't know that.
It happened in the 30s. It's one of those things that democratic socialists just conveniently forget about the 30 million Ukrainians that Stalin killed because he nationalized healthcare and food assistance. Food stamps gone wrong. 30 million people dead. Fire Rocket says, Cardinal's not here to keep Cody in check. Sad. Fire Rocket, I challenge you to type in anything that I said that was incorrect. Anything. Point out one thing that was incorrect. Cardinal Uncensored, Electric Boogaloo. That's funny. I don't know what that means. But here we got Voldemort. No, Christian Solid. The Holdemort, it's pronounced.
I'm with you, Christian. I thought he said Voldemort.
Love it. Called it on. Cardin Uncensored is the best. Oh, that's funny. Cool Out AC says Carton is sounding like Chris Matthews worried about getting executed in Central Park. You know, on the scale of hysteria, there's like Alex Jones, and then there's Chris Matthews being worried about it. So I'm glad I haven't made it to Alex Jones territory. Although I gotta tell you, I dig Alex Jones just because he admits to being crazy. I saw this. I've never actually seen Alex Jones outside of the Joe Rogan podcast. I've never watched one of his shows, but I've seen a lot of clips of him. And there's this really funny clip where he's like, actually, you know, I admit I'm really kind of stupid sometimes. So I don't know. I just kind of like that. I could deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I could deal with that. Wait, Bloomberg's up. Hold on. James Young works in an oil refinery. Awesome, dude. I'd like to hear a little bit more. That's cool. They're pushing 80,000 barrels a day at $27.50 a barrel in profit. That's a pretty big refinery, man. Macius Ostrakowski says we need to subsidize oil or old people will die. Yeah. Are you just quoting me, or were you actually saying that's true? Because if you're saying it's true, I'd love you to link to some data or something like that. Because right now we're just listening to Buttigieg say silly stuff. The squirrel. Benjamin McDonald says, Yang drops out. PSP abandons all support for Yang's climate change proposals. No, you are incorrect, my friend. Go back and look at everything I talked about. I really liked Yang's proposals because he was saying that we needed to use thorium reactors in order to generate more electricity. Because right now the name of the game is electricity, and we've got natural gas plants that have replaced our coal burning plants. They're actually completely carbon neutral, but it's the old coal burning plants and the coal ash that they actually create that are still causing problems in a lot of these older districts as well that still rely upon coal for electricity that's burned into steam turbines. So if you actually replace those old steam turbines with thorium reactors, not only do you save a lot of physical space because reactors, and by the way, there's arguments about whether it's thorium or plutonium or uranium or whatever, but nuclear fission reactors, okay, only require 2 or 3 acres to operate properly and replace what used to be like 20 acres of coal burning plants. So you know what? Let's take out the coal burning plant. Okay, let's sell off all the parts. China's building 2 of these things per day. Let's get rid of ours while they'll build them there, okay, and pollute their air over there. And then let's put up the thorium reactor, build a park and a convention center next to it, and then give a dividend based off of the profit from the convention center to everybody that wants to come to the park, so it's free. You know, so don't be saying that we went back on Andrew Yang's climate change proposals. None of that has changed, bro, Seth. Go back and watch our videos. Ooh, they're going to ask all the white people about Latinos, who constitute 1 out of every 4 new businesses in the United States of America. How interesting. Yeah, who's going to give them that money, dude? See, he's totally saying a Republican talking point right now. So either Elizabeth Warren is going to say you're making a Republican talking point, or else the media is not going to push him and say, hold on a second, how can you give people money without taxing them? There's intellectual dishonesty right now in this question. And if the media doesn't push back, it's because they totally like him and they're in the bag for Biden. Let's see what they say. Yeah. Oh, what do you know? The Chinese are taking the dirtiest coal in the world from Mongolia and spreading it all over the world. Wow. Sounds like what I just said 30 seconds ago. Not if they're small businesses? Okay. If this were a journalist, they'd say, what's the threshold? 50 employees? 100 employees? $200,000 in revenue? Profit? What? What's the threshold? What's the measurable quantifier, Pete? As Ural says, we will have a huge layoff between this year and 2021 in the telecom market. I'd be interested to see why and highlight me. I like it when you guys highlight that. Unless you highlight it or put it in a super chat, sometimes I can't catch up with it. Vtran says that Pete is the jock that copies the nerd. That's funny.
It's a pretty good analogy.
At least Chuck Todd is honest. Bloomberg's talking.
Look at Biden's face.
Yeah, he looks a little like, what? What? I'm the only one here that's ever started a business. That is powerful. I'm the only one here that's ever started a business. Started a business. Oh, I'm losing my voice. I can't impersonate Bloomberg anymore. That Bernie Sanders impression took it out of me. Look at them just falling over each other.
I like Bloomberg.
You
He
do?
doesn't sound powerful, but I like him.
I'm really curious to see how well he
Sue me.
does.
No.
No, not sue me, but Andrew Yang struggled with the female demographic and never really made inroads with African Americans or with females.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe it was because he wasn't emotional enough. Maybe it was temperamentally too cerebral. Of course, all the feminists are starting to blog already. Cardinellis is a misogynist saying that women don't understand things. No, I'm just saying that maybe there was something about his temperament that just kind of seemed too numbersy, or I don't know.
Yang's temperament though too. It just, I don't know.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I lost my train of thought in the middle of a very controversial subject because Bernie Sanders is screaming. So I'll have to come back to that thought and dig myself out of whatever hole was probably created by me not finishing my sentences. Senator Sanders literally said, billionaires should not exist. What say you, Klobuchar? Klobuchar just said, I believe in capitalism, and only like 8 people clapped. That's literally the party you're looking at, guys. And then, ooh, they've got Bloomberg smiling ear to ear. Yeah, the number one worry on small business owners' minds is the child care of their employees. Although females are half the population and not all of them are working, and in many industries they constitute less than 10% of employee bases. In some industries they're very high, like nursing and education and so on and so forth. But the number one thing that's on a small business owner's mind is taxation, killing their business. Hyper-regulation, killing their business. Government preventing their business from being able to make the profit that's necessary to feed their families. You don't know crap, Senator Klobuchar, about small business when you make statements like that. And that's why the Chamber of Commerce, who is not off the hook, and they're POSs too when it comes to a lot of things. But that's the reason why none of these people or business folk support you or generally Democrats as a whole. Mayor Bloomberg, should you exist? You know, good job for defending yourself. By the way, does anybody not notice the problem with asking if people have the right to exist? Did we not read the history books of a certain man who ran with von Hindenburg in the 1930s, who said, hey, there's this subset in our society with whom I question whether or not they have the right to exist. And it's in large part due to the amount of wealth that they have accumulated. And he wrestled with that question. He wrote a book on that question called His Struggle. His Struggle. And then he came up with a final solution to that question about whether or not these people have a right to exist. So how about, like Whoopi Goldberg said, let's not make lists? You know, because the last time we made lists in Hollywood, people committed suicide because of mass firings and blacklisting to those lists. How about we don't ask if certain types of people have the right to exist? I can't believe on a DNC platform from a candidate for U.S. office, literally the phrase blank should not be allowed to exist. Tell me how I'm wrong. Any registered Democrat in the chat, tell me how I'm wrong. Because Yang was the exact opposite, baby. He was up here saying, don't fight the billionaires. Let's create more billionaires. Don't fight Trump. He's the symptom of the disease, not the disease itself. Don't waste your time talking Orange Man bad. Let's waste our time talking solutions like thorium reactors instead of coal burning plants that we invented in the late 1800s to generate electricity. The late 1800s. Whoa, where'd the shadow go? Oh, that's powerful. Mike Bloomberg, when asked if he would support capitalism, said, I can't think of a way to get Donald Trump reelected faster than this conversation. Dragon Scale says Cardin is right. Emperor Xander says the shadow blends back in. Yep, just checking on the kids real fast. Don't worry, Marion H. She's coming back. She's coming back. Did Elizabeth Warren literally talk about the moral quandary of exploiting the black and brown women that actually do the work when she literally exploited the title of American Indian? The brown people that did the horrible work of being persecuted by the U.S. Army throughout the 1800s as we conquered the West, and now have been given small plots of land we call reservations and scraps, okay, to fend for. And as part of trying to make up for that, we've developed affirmative action programs that she used voluntarily in order to get into an Ivy League school while handwriting in that she was an American Indian. Didn't accidentally check a box, didn't scantron the wrong bubble. She actually literally wrote in, look this up and Google it. She wrote in, I am American Indian on there. And now she wants to lecture me on white people not exploiting black and brown people that actually do the work? Give me a break. Anybody that believes this woman or votes for this woman has no problem with intellectual dishonesty. Has no problem with it. None whatsoever. Oh, he called communism a cheap shot. Look, literally, Bernie Sanders is defending communism here. This is awesome. Like, dude, man, anybody that didn't have a chance to live through the early teens and the 20s in Eastern Europe is like totally getting to watch it right now. We got the plutocrats and the oligarchs, the czarists. Literally, we've got the czar fighting the Red Army right now. This is awesome. One of the best guns ever made, the 1898 Mosin Nagant, came out of that early struggle against the Turks with the czars, I believe. You got to look it up. Who knows? Maybe we're going to invent a really cool gun. We'll call it the Bloomberg Sanders 2020. Dude, you know, you can knock Bernie Sanders, but he just made it all the way to the top of the talking time. Look at that right there. I mean, boom, shakalaka. Okay. So now he's taking the low-hanging fruit, saying that I agree with the senator halfway. Dude, you know, I got to say, Brittany the Shadow makes a really good, interesting argument that temperamentally, Bloomberg comes off as just the adult in the room because everybody else is screaming. I mean, that's a really interesting argument that I'd like to see how well it polls and how well it does with other people, because I doubt that she is alone in her view by any large gap of anything that would be considered statistically relevant. Brittany the Shadow, we got to give her credit. She was the very, very first to say Donald Trump's going to win this thing. She called it like, I swear before he'd set foot in the elevator, onto the escalator that night, Brittany the Shadow called it. So if she's saying, hey, Bloomberg is attracting me as just, you know, an uninterested viewer, as being more mature than everybody else on stage, when the rest of the muggles tune in, because right now only the wizards are watching, but when all the muggles tune in and it gets closer to that election day, that might carry some serious weight. Chuck Todd is actually being a decent moderator. In an award-winning essay, he praised Senator Sanders. Okay. Interesting. He asked, is Pete Buttigieg out of touch with millennials, his own generation, because he's not embracing socialism? Ooh. Pete Buttigieg tried to turn his tribute into a little bit of a jab, and he got counterpunched back by Bernie Sanders. Wow. Sanders is crushing it. How can you call yourself a capitalist and say that you want triple the government? I don't get that. It does not compute, and it is not because I am a boomer. It is because it is dishonest. Very not true. This man, he's lying to you. Do not listen to him. He's telling you things that are not true. And he will not turn us into a good place, but a bad place with poverty. Dude, Benjamin McDonald fighting the philosophical fight in the chat. Go Benjamin. Mr. Simpson says this debate is an entertaining shite show, and I actually kind of agree with him. And oh, look who's back. Look who's back. Ba ba da da ba ba ba. Da 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 da. It's clobbering time. She's literally having to yell over people right now. This is awesome. Whoo! Okay, so chat. We need to know what you guys think right now. We really need to know what you guys think right now. It's really interesting. It looks like they tried to lob a bunch of volleys at Bloomberg as being the rich guy. And they tried a lot of classically progressive arguments, which he pretty much fielded relatively well, I think. I was actually surprised at how cool-headed he stayed. And Brittany the Shadow here actually says that temperament she think will serve him well in the general election when people are looking at temperament a little bit more closely. We're looking at talking time right now. It's a little bit of a dead heat between Warren and Sanders, probably the two biggest socialists on stage, even though one of them claims to be a capitalist, most likely probably just for marketing reasons. And then Bloomberg has skyrocketed, mostly in what I would have to say is defensive speech, okay, to the top. He's not been asked a lot of questions, but he's definitely had to field a lot of incoming. So it looks like he's up top. And interestingly enough, Biden and Buttigieg are now fighting for the bottom. Biden was buried there for the first, I'd say, hour of the debate. But it looks like he's eked himself out of last place, where, ironically, Buttigieg is right now. And he was considered like, you know, the second coming. I think somebody in the media had actually called him like white Obama. And now he's like struggling for talk time. This is definitely an unorthodox debate. I'm loving it. The bread and circuses is beautiful. We've literally heard somebody defend this idea that blank should not exist, as though he were trying to start a Reich. You know what I'm saying? We've heard people basically defend nationalizing everything. The Green New Deal, which honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, makes absolutely no sense. And yeah, this is crazy. I've noticed very little math. And not a lot of inspiration, actually. Gosh, man, I remember watching debates as a kid, and it was almost like who could be more charismatic instead of who could be more offended. Now we've definitely reached a point where we're rewarding offense and we're rewarding attack instead of rewarding charisma, which is I'm not here to bemoan any kind of loss or anything like that, because who knows? Maybe this is a better way of choosing our candidates. I doubt it, but maybe it is. We won't know until this plays out. But one of these people is going to be a winner. And the question is, who is it? Is it going to be Bloomberg because he basically bought his way into the election and made a bunch of awesome, really compelling commercials that he could afford? And now it's going to be New York billionaire versus the other New York billionaire. Both have switched parties like twice in the past 30 years. You know, is that what we're looking at? I don't know. Chat, help me out. What do you think? CJ English says, you got sweet members only content. Well, thanks, CJ. That wasn't the question I asked, but I'm really glad you like our members only content.
He was responding that because someone was asking why his name was green.
Oh, yeah. If you guys are wondering, everybody that has the name that's green in the chat with that cool little PSP icon, that means that they joined our channel. And I usually try once a week. I try once a week to put out a really cool behind the scenes video that I edit up that kind of shows how me and Cody operate, how we do our things, how we edit up the content. Sometimes it's stuff that we've done out and about, but usually it's kind of behind the scenes, a little bit more raw, a little bit more, cool, a little bit more visceral, whatever. And it's actually pretty fun stuff. And it's cheap. It's not expensive. I think it's like $5 a month or something like that. If you guys want to join the channel, it's really awesome. Just sign up as a member. You get members only content. You get members only posts. And we're toying with the idea of doing a members only call-in live stream, which we thought might be kind of cool. So let us know what you guys think, how we could improve the content if you're a member, a member of the chat. And then, yeah, just jump on board, dude. It's cool. There's no contracts. You're not stuck to it. If you don't like us, you can always quit. But it's really awesome because your super chats get priority and you get a bunch of really cool behind the scenes content that CJ English here will vouch for. So Joshua Rowland says Bernie will win, but Ohio Hammer Network says, I honestly think Bloomberg wins. Tell me right now.
I'm with you, Ohio Hammer.
Yeah. Tell me right now.
I think people are sick of these candidates. And Bloomberg came in, and so they're like, oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's simple, but that's what I think.
Hey, that's a lot of the reason why I was attracted to Andrew Yang in the beginning, was temperament. I was like, finally, a dude that's talking ideas and not yelling at clouds, accusing them of being orange when they're not orange, and then convinced that the Green New Deal would have stopped them from being orange, which is really the psychosis that we've dropped into. And I mean, look, dude, here's a guy that voted for Donald Trump, totally starting a podcast that highlights Andrew Yang when virtually nobody else was talking about him. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how in it I was for Yang. In it to win it for Yang, right? And wanting to promote this guy, wanting to get him attention, get his good ideas out there, wanting to talk his ideas, and his bad ideas wanting to talk about as well. Because there were plenty of times where we said, yeah, dude, this is going to catch up with him later. We pegged his wishy-washy Medicare for all as being fodder for the progressives once they read into his platform. And we were surprised that nobody came after him for his immigration policy, because it looks like immigration is obviously not a big talking point on the Democrat side. But I mean, I'm heartbroken over Yang being out of the race still, and I miss him a lot. I got to be honest with you. So chat, let us know if you're missing him. Oh, hey, Jins Shish. Welcome to Problem Solver Politics. We just got another member there. Thanks. So chat, I want to know who all misses Yang, if they're missing Yang like I do, and who you think is winning the debate right now, because it looks like we're back into the debate, baby, because Biden's talking. Yeah, so the guy that's been in Washington for 40 years is going to tell us what it's like to be a normal person, says Joe Biden. Hey, T. T joined up. Thanks a lot, T. Shout out, T. Thanks for the membership, brother. Sony God says Bernie's winning. A lot of people are missing Yang, just like me, man. I miss Yang, dude. I cried that day. Isn't that crazy? I legit cried the day Yang dropped out, man.
You did.
Yeah, yeah, but, because it wasn't a program that's under the U. It was an illegal executive order. And I'm somebody that thinks the Dreamers should stay. But if we're going to be doing this, how we do it matters. And Barack Obama, with his pen and his phone, shoving executive orders down the throat of Congress because he says they're dysfunctional. No, the American public is dysfunctional. And until we work through this dysfunction and learn to love each other again, executive orders aren't going to make us a united country. Ruling by fiat is not going to make us a united country. It was a bad move, and there's a reason why it's getting overturned. And now all these DACA kids are vulnerable again. And they're vulnerable because Barack Obama did an executive order. Instead of actually sticking to his guns, like he said, and saying this is an issue of Congress that Congress needs to fix. And everybody that's listening to my voice right now needs to vote out whatever idiot, whether he's Republican or Democrat, that isn't actually working to try and fix this system. We've had 2 Republican presidents sign almost 30 million people into amnesty. The only people that actually signed amnesty for illegal immigrants was Bush and Ronald Reagan. So Democrats have no leg to stand on when they say that Republicans are racist or don't want to come to the bargaining table. And they've screwed Republicans twice. So if any of you guys actually have a Democratic senator or a Democratic congressman, you need to write them and you need to apply pressure on them and you need to say, hey, you need to start bargaining with these people and living up to promises that you made, because it's not you that's suffering, it's the DACA kids and their families who are legitimately worried about getting caught in the system and deported. I love it when the Midwestern people like nicely talk to each other in very respectable mean punches. It's like watching Canadians get angry at each other. She's steaming right now and she doesn't know how to hold it in. Oh, look at this. See, he's saying that Donald Trump is hostile to Mexicans again. Ooh, low-hanging orange man, bad fruit. Low-hanging orange man, bad fruit, cheap heat. Whoa. Oh, this is how Cody does it. He just sits down here. He's up here. But look, if I just take his seat down, then boom, I got it covered. Yeah. Oh. Do the math. Oh, if Andrew Yang was here. Woo-woo! Dude, it's clobbering time. She literally just quoted Andrew Yang. Rock the freak on. Andrew Yang just got quoted. This is amazing. Oh, I'm loving this, dude.
These draconian policies to separate
She should just say, look, I cooperate and get along with people to make deals on things that are already going to happen. And if I'm a Democrat and I say yes to something that's already going to happen, at least I build up some repertoire to get something from Republicans when they're in a situation where they can give something to me. It's called being a good bargainer, a good negotiator. Literally, Donald Trump ran on the fact that he wrote the book, The Art of the Deal, that he didn't even write. This idea that we need better negotiators in Congress because it's gridlocked by people who think you're not allowed to vote for anything the bad orange man does is not making you look like an adult. This is why women like Brittany the Shadow over there say Bloomberg is coming across as the adult in the room because he's not fighting like a cat and a dog.
Leader that has the heart for the immigrants of this country, and that is me.
You know, maybe leading a diverse city that was facing ruin doesn't sound like the arena to you. I'm used to senators telling mayors that senators are more important than mayors, but this is the arena too. You don't have to be in Washington to matter. You don't have to be on Capitol Hill.
This is a good answer. It's like a church pastor answer. I like it. PB says, Amy got a +1 point with me. Yeah, I agree with you. That was a +1 moment.
She's probably trying to actively take all the Yang gang.
Yeah, that's true. Ooh, they're talking about super delegates right now.
Whatever the rules of the Democratic Party are, they should be followed. And if they have a process, which I believe they do, so that everybody can do.
By the way, you're not convincing us, Michael Bloomberg, that you're a Democrat when you keep calling the Democrats they and not we.
Solid.
You know, hate to say it.
Not necessarily, not to lose Senator Klobuchar.
Let the process work.
Senator Sanders.
Well, the process includes 500 superdelegates on the second ballot. So I think that the will of the people should prevail, yes.
Thank you, guys.
Those votes should become the nominee.
5 no's and a yes. We are not done yet. We're back with more from Las Vegas after a short break.
How much more of this is there?
Woo! Okay, we're almost done. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a question for you before we...
I need a drink.
Yeah, actually, I could use one too. Here in a second, I'm starting to lose my voice. I'm an idiot. I'm drinking half of Cody's coffee water too. But yeah, he's gonna be like really angry when he comes back into the studio. He's like, "Hey, yo, what's up with my coffee water?" So, because he speaks with a mafioso's hoarse
Bernie
accent,
voice,
yeah. So, I actually want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, guys, how would you rate the entertainment value? First, the entertainment value of this debate, and then second, how you would rate the substantive nature of this debate. Do you actually feel like you're getting some solid substance out of this, where you're getting to know more than just how well they scream or what their personality's like? Do you actually feel like you're getting some good policy explained to you? So I'd like you to rate this debate on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? First, on entertainment value, are you liking it? Is it bread and circuses? And then, especially compared to the other debates. And then the second number I want you to put up there with a slash in between the two if you can. Tell me how substantive you think this debate is getting. We're getting from NS Greeny, 10 for entertainment, 0 for substance. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm thinking like 11 for entertainment with some of these counter punches and jabs that are getting put out there. You know, Alvin Kim says 2 for entertainment, 1 for substance. Entertainment value 2. GRB says 7 for entertainment, -10. -10 on substance. This is hilarious. Michael Jones gives it a solid 4 and then a 2.5 for substance, while Bruce Lee says 8 for entertainment, 2 for substance. Sahil Signorile says entertainment 9, substance 3, and Darcy, member Darcy, says -1,000. I assume she means for both. So, yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a trend here. A lot of people are being more entertained, which is good, I guess. But the substance is horrible. And our new member, John's Sish. Oh gosh, you got to tell me how to pronounce your name now that you're a member, brother. Tell Cody the water supply has been socialized. Hold on, I got to go up. Tell Cody that the water supply has been socialized following a Democratic election held when he was gone. Oh, that's true. Majority rules. Hey, Brittany.
Yeah.
This is part of the social contract. It's a natural resource that exists within our studio.
Yes.
This computer cannot vote, but you can vote and I can vote. Therefore, in a democratic society, according to the social contract theory, which is false because the social contract theory says that rights are given by society and not given by God, as deemed in the Constitution. So anybody like Kyle Kulinski, who actually subscribes to this idea, anybody like Cenk Uygur that actually subscribes to this idea, anybody like David Pakman that subscribes to this idea are A, godless, and B, un-American. But they're allowed to hold that idea because the God-given right to hold bad ideas, also known as the freedom of speech, the First Amendment, and the freedom of religion, which all leftist secularism really is, allows this. So we're going to hold an election right now.
Okay.
Can I drink this water, though it belongs to somebody else? What do you say? What's your vote?
No, because
No, not philosophically. Will you just vote yes?
Yes.
So I can drink it? There, okay, majority rules. And by the way, even if you voted no, it would be a 50-50 split. And I would say, oh, but my super delegate friend actually says yes, so now it's 3-2. That's the way the DNC literally works. Okay, so we're coming back. And I'm drinking the socialized water, but I'm not touching the lid because I have respect for my buddy Cody. Oh, it didn't go very well, but it's all good. Oh, so after an hour and 53 minutes of slandering each other, they're saying we need to come together and sing Kumbaya. This is great. Go, Klobuchar. I mean, I can't believe this, but Elizabeth Warren is on top for talk time still by a thick margin. Oh, she made a boomer pun talking about heart conditions, referencing obviously Bernie Sanders' heart condition and why she has a bigger heart. Dude, she needs to be like a pastor with all these puns. You know, she needs to be like a Christian pastor that makes like just cute puns while they're doing sermons, you know?
She needs to be an intern for Marianne Williamson.
That's true. Legit. Oh, that's funny. Please join me at MikeBloomberg.com, but I'm not asking for money. This is a managerial job, but Donald Trump is not a manager? Yeah, it's actually the managing bureaucratic class that has been destroying America. So a lot of economic studies are actually starting to use the term managerial class in a very negative way. I don't know if I keep using that talking point, Bloomberg. Dude, Bloomberg's making a totally good boomer argument here. You know, that society needs to hold people to account, and you need an experienced guy to lead. This is our only chance to defeat Donald Trump. We're running out of time. Oh, we're all going to die. Oh, run away, run away. Orange man bad. Run away. Elect me. Nationalize everything. I've already tuned out of Bloomberg.
You mean Buttigieg?
Yeah, sorry, Buttigieg. It was just way too rehearsed. Just way too rehearsed. Now we've got the librarian, the angry librarian.
And I learned it probably from my mother. I watched when my daddy had a heart attack and didn't have any money coming in, when our car was lost and when we were on the edge of losing our home. I watched my
Oh, the millionaire from Cambridge, Massachusetts is telling a story of how she was on the edge of losing her home. Oh, but wait a second. She told the sad story about sending her children to public schools, but we found out they all went to private schools. And then she's told the sad story of getting fired for being pregnant until somebody dug up the tapes of her admitting that she wasn't fired for being pregnant. She voluntarily quit because she didn't feel qualified because she didn't have the right credentials. So now she's telling the sad story about how she almost lost her house as a millionaire, except we're all going to find out that, oh, wait, no. The sad story is really sad. And she's actually a liar. But it doesn't matter because people are stupid and they're going to believe her when she almost lost her house. Oh my God.
Easy. I don't like your crying impersonation.
Silent Gen, not boomers. That's the scarier part. Yeah. Super chat from Devlin Hodges. That's funny. He's actually referencing. Hey, you know, we've never actually had a silent generation president. We've only had baby boomer presidents. Baby boomer presidents. And then the last Gen X candidate was Yang. We got protesters. What are the protesters saying?
Please give us a moment. We'll clear the room and let.
What are they saying?
I don't know. What are they saying? Who can hear what they're saying? Oh, they're still yelling. Oh, man. I can hear what they're saying. In the chat, you guys got to tell me. What were they saying? Yeah, I mean, now the protesters have to be topless or else they're just not committed. Because after those protesters showed up, grabbing the mic from Bernie Sanders a couple days ago, saying he's propping up the milk industry, and then bringing out them, what's it called? Dem ladies. You know what I'm saying? Just showing everybody them titties everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You're not committed unless you're nude. See, those ladies were topless. Now unless you're topless and bottomless, I'm not even watching or listening to what you have to say as a protester. People are asking about the Yang and Anderson Cooper CNN video yet. No, we haven't spoken about that, but we'll probably be talking about it in tomorrow's video. Yeah, the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country. The one that has strengthened us economically more in categories we haven't been strong in 20, 30, sometimes 100 years is our most dangerous president. No, our president who's actually not gotten us into wars despite what the military-industrial complex wants to do with all that money. The most dangerous president? No. Barack Obama unilaterally invaded Libya and once every 20 minutes for 8 years, literally drone strike somebody, creating more terrorists every 20 minutes for 8 years. You can't really say that Donald Trump's our most dangerous president. I'm sorry. You just can't. All right. Good day from NBC News. It's over, folks. Now they're all hugging and they're kissing and they're acting like they like each other again. But we got to see if somebody comes up and accuses somebody else of actually having called them a liar on stage. That'd be super interesting. That'd be super duper interesting. So anyway, what do we think? Let's commiserate, guys. Let's commiserate just for a little bit here. In the last minutes of the chat that we have, let's go over this. I would like the chat to respond and tell me who do you think won the debate? First off, I want to know, who do you guys think won the debate? I know I asked this before, but now that it's all completely over, I want you to say who won the debate, and I want you to say what the most memorable moment was. Brittany the Shadow, what was the most memorable moment? What stuck out to you most during that debate?
I really can't see anything that stuck out to me. Probably Klobuchar referencing Yang.
Okay, good answer.
And Bloomberg's temperament. We've already talked about that.
Okay.
And Biden just seemed not even there.
Okay.
I don't know. I still think Bernie deserves the nomination. I don't think he'll get it. And Amy surprised me, Klobuchar. But I think I would lean towards Bloomberg. But I'm not sold on anyone yet.
Okay, interesting. So we're getting Biden is back, F Bloomberg, great show PSP, Yang won. That's funny. But Bernie and Bloomberg, they say won. Bernie, Bloomberg, do not know. Yang. Obviously got some Yang fans here. Trump won. Maybe Trump actually won. That's interesting. Captain Keldiggs said Cardin won the debate. Thanks, my man. And we're getting a lot of Bernie and Bloomberg. I do have to say, I feel like Bloomberg held his own. I feel like Bloomberg held his own. And Bernie fielded all of his attacks and counterpunched pretty effectively. And my, oh my, what do you guys notice when all of a sudden you look at the fine print and on the big screen? I'm going to do one last final refresh on the New York Times talking time tracker. And here's the final results. Warren, okay, by a pretty thick margin of almost a minute, tops out Klobuchar, who's nearly tied with Sanders, Buttigieg slowly behind Biden and Bloomberg. But look, the lowest performer was in 2 minutes and 50 some odd seconds, or 3 minutes talk time of the highest performer. Lowest performer had 13 minutes, highest performer had 60 minutes. What do you know? Now that Yang is gone, it's amazing how evenly allotted all of this talk time is. Now, let's give credit where credit is due. You're having more seasoned debaters that are able to interject themselves more. And there's less people on stage. But gosh, those moderators, they really just seemed better at asking questions this time. Questions that seemed relevant, based upon current events and tweets, based upon policy positions that had been put out by the candidates themselves, and asking others to respond that might have a relative position that might counterpoint the first person's positions. It's almost as though there were less media bias. Now, call me crazy, and I want the chat to tell me if anybody else thinks that I'm off my knocker here. But seems to me that this time these people tried to do a little bit of their jobs because they actually like somebody on stage. Call me crazy, but it seems like they actually like themselves on stage. So anyway, back to the chat. What'd you guys think? How surprising. The dynamic without Yang was strangely different, says Marianne H. That's true. Money talks. Stephen Yeats says he endorses the Shadow.
Yes.
You're getting some endorsements here.
Can't go wrong with that.
Michael Rinderdale says Bloomberg was crucified tonight.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I really don't know what to think, but I like Ohio Hammer Network because he agrees with me. And obviously anybody that agrees with me, I automatically like. You know what I'm saying? So, good job. Anyway, guys, it's been awesome hanging out with you. Highlight of our week is hanging out with the Yang Gang, hanging out with the PSP Army, hanging out with everybody that enjoys freedom and the American way. I think it seems pretty unanimous, correct me if I'm wrong, Brittany, that most people thought that Bernie Sanders had won the debate and that Bloomberg had held his own. I too agree with you that I just think if Bernie Sanders earned it, he earned it.
Yeah.
I don't want his ideas implemented, and I would fight him tooth and nail in the general election, but dog, he earned it. I'm sorry. If you got all the delegates, you earned it. You know, like there's nothing more capitalist. There's nothing more free market. There's nothing more right wing. There's nothing more, Christian values than this concept of accountability. And accountability goes both ways. If a bad person does something bad, they should be held accountable and punished. And guess what? I mean, you're a psychology person. You know the definition of punishment isn't always negative. Mm-hmm. That if somebody does something good and reaches measurable quantifiers that need to be reached, then they should be rewarded, if they provide that merit with what they were promised to be rewarded. And in this case, it is the nomination by the DNC, except for Tom Perez unilaterally changes the rules without consulting the rules committee of the DNC. So anyway, any last words before we quit here? If you guys got any super chats, make sure you get them out of your systems before we shut her down, and check in with Cody the Oracle to see how he's doing. Also, don't forget, now's a great time to join. If you want to join the channel, it's cheap. It's like $5. And you get all kinds of cool members only content. You get a really sick badge, so all your stuff shows up whenever we're talking. Your super chats look cooler, and you get all kinds of other stuff. It's actually a really fun way to make sure that PSP can keep making good content for you and keep you up to date in all things election 2020 without having to have any corporate sponsorships. Also, if you haven't had a chance yet to like this stream, it helps the Google algorithms make sure that it recommends us to other people that are searching for political content. Because now political content that's not made by the big broadcasting companies is being deprioritized by the algorithm. So if you can like this video, and look, if you don't have money to join the channel, if you don't have money for super chats, look, you can like our channel and you can share it. You can say, hey, these guys do live streams for the debates and they're fun to watch. You guys should check them out. Just put it out on your Facebook profile. That's as big a help as you can give us as well. Everybody has a place in the tent at the PSP Army. No matter what you got, we'll take it, because you're welcome here. We love each and every soldier in the PSP Army. So anyway,
you have a super chat.
Hit it.
NS Greeny, favorite line of debate. Mine, can't use TurboTax.
Oh yeah, gosh, what would be our favorite line of the debate? Some of the zingers. I liked some of the zingers. I'm a zinger guy. Did you have one, Brittany?
Probably just Klobuchar referencing Yang. Do the math.
Yeah, that's true. Can't do TurboTax. That was really funny.
Really, none of the debate was memorable for me.
Yeah, I'd say I really liked a lot of the Klobuchar and Buttigieg sparring. That's not one line, but I like the sparring. V-Tran. Well, oh, hey, V-Tran just joined. Thank you, V-Tran. We just got a new member here. Awesome. Welcome to the Problem Solver Politics member army. Yeah. So anyway, we're going to chill out here. We're going to hang out in the chat for a little bit longer. As we're not going to shut down the stream yet. We're going to shut down the video and the audio feed, and then I'm going to hang out in the chat for about another 5 minutes, seeing if I can't answer any last straggling super chats or any of your questions. But this has been completely awesome. You guys are great. Thank you for watching Problem Solver Politics. Before I do this, I want to make sure that I got the right button. No, is it this one? One of these is fade to black. I think it's this one. Okay, cool. All right, so now I can do my outro. So, or should I do fade to white? Which one looks cooler? Fade to black or fade to white? Which one looks cooler? How should I exit?
I don't know. Where do I see what you're doing?
This is the godly way, like, thank you for having been with us. Oh. Or else we could say, it's Problem Solver Politics. See you next week.
I like the black. I'm the shadow.
You like the fade to black?
Yeah.
Because you're Brittany the Shadow?
Yep.
All right. So say thanks for hanging out with us, looking straight down the barrel of the camera.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you in the next video.
Oh, shoot. I pressed the wrong button. Hold on. Okay, now hold on. I was just going to end the chat there. But then Dream Operator and Azrael both asked to speak about Atlantis, okay, and the Sphinx, and I'm totally down. I'm totally down. I think the legend of Atlantis had to come from somewhere. And, dude, Graham Hancock, he thinks it was North America. And I got to tell you, I'm not here to say that I necessarily agree with everything he said or everything conspiracy theorists believe, but I think that we don't have the whole story yet. Why? Because less than 1/10% of the Earth's surface has been scratched by archaeologists, and these sites that are eligible for archaeology are just people. We cannot explain our own history well enough. That archaeology is just synonymous with arrogance at this point, and ancient humans continue to absolutely amaze me, not with how stupid and Neanderthalish they were, but how incredibly advanced they were. I mean, Leif Erikson freaking made it to the New World in Vikings ships, yo. In freezing weather going through ice floes, he made it in Viking ships. So, I mean, boom. You got to read America Before. What LiDAR technology is doing to uncover Mayan ruins in a civilization we didn't even realize had human sacrifice until like 50 years ago. Okay, you're going to tell me we know everything about the ancient Americas? Please. These idiots, these governmental paid shills are absolute idiots. And that's actually part of the reason why I supported the Freedom Dividend so heartily too, is because I want to get funding for great important things out of the hands of government, which is always politically motivated, and into the hands of people. Like, imagine how many scientists out there with great ideas that are always begging the government for funding could have their great ideas funded through just Kickstarter. What if we had archaeological campaigns actually funded through Kickstarter? What if we had NASA space experiments funded through Kickstarter? Instead of waiting around to figure out is Barack Obama going to be the president that resurrects NASA? Is Donald Trump going to be the president that resurrects NASA? Because we haven't gone to the moon in who knows how long. We call ourselves a superpower, but we can't even make it to the moon anymore. We do these political stunts in the International Space Station, but we still can't go to the moon even though we're a superpower. Come on. California is supposedly run by leftist environmentalists, yet we still haven't introduced megafauna, any kind of animal back into our forests. We haven't rebuilt any of our forests. They're all burning to the ground as urban sprawl continues. It's a joke. So anyway, Azrael brings up a point that they find out dinosaurs had feathers in general. Yes, many of ancient dinosaurs were much more closely related to birds than birds and lizards than they were to obviously mammals, which came much, much later. It wasn't until the late Pleistocene, I think, that we saw animals. Fact check me on that. Because I know Jurassic Park shouldn't have been called Jurassic Park. It should have been called Mesozoic Park because of the dinosaurs that they had in it. But yeah, anyway. Silu says, LOL, I'm rolling. Sly Cactus, good to see you back, says, hey, Carden, have you heard of the YouTube channel Bright Insight? Great videos and this kind of stuff. You know, I'll look them up and see if I've liked any of their videos. GM's liking my term megafauna. And Devlin Duck Hodges says, hashtag Carden Uncensored. You know what, guys? Actually, I want to know, do you want that kind of content? Would you be interested in that kind of content? Because Cody thinks that needs to be on a second channel. And I was thinking, who knows? Maybe we could just launch it on our Problem Solver Politics channel. But there's some really compelling evidence that actually the Sphinx is 10,000 years old and that it was actually repaired by the pharaohs that built the pyramids and not built by the pharaohs that built the pyramids, because it's covered in multiple layers of repairs. And literally every inch of it, except for the hindquarters that were cut out of stone 8,000 years after it was built, are covered with water erosion that would insinuate massive rainfall of years and years and years and years and years of rainfall at a time when the Nile wasn't just sitting in the middle of the Sahara and wasn't just an endless dune full of sand, but was actually a much more temperate climate that had much more rainfall instead of being one of the driest places on Earth. And it's evidence of that rainfall on the Sphinx that leads some outlier scientists who every year start becoming more mainstream as more data about water erosion comes out and more of their ideas become corroborated. These outlier scientists suggest that it's probably maybe 10,000 years old, which begs the question, how did our ancient ancestors 10,000 years ago, when we thought they were just dummies still trying to figure out pickaxes and arrowheads, how were they building the Sphinx? Now, that crazy guy with hair on the History Channel always wants to say it was like ancient aliens and stuff, But man, year after year, we are showing more and more data that suggests that ancient humans were far more advanced than we give them credit. And I think they're actually more spiritually advanced, because who's to say that a culture couldn't survive and thrive just because we don't necessarily have a record of it, okay? Just because you're not writing books and making CDs and DVDs and worshiping Apple like I do so that somebody's iPhone can be found 10,000 years later doesn't mean that you didn't have a spiritually advanced civilization. So anyway, Felipe Rodriguez says you should do conspiracy theories around politics, JFK, New World Order, murder, suicides. I don't know. I think Alex Jones has all that covered. And actually, to be honest with you, you're not even allowed to talk about these things. Cody the Oracle is a guru at this. And sometimes we get in pretty heated debates about what content we should make, like what story we should talk about that day or whatever. Or we get criticized for not talking about something during that day. But when I look at a lot of my friends that dive straight into those controversial topics, all of their videos are in limited state. 80% of their videos have been banned or have been shadow banned or have been deprioritized or have been canceled or have been demonetized, like that. Okay, we haven't had any of those except for one flimsy, stupid copyright strike from CNN during the second debate. We've actually avoided a lot of these copyright strikes and so on and so forth by kind of keeping it a little bit PG rated instead of PG-13 and R. And because of that, we've had a lot more success in being able to at least bring you this kind of content. So we're seeing how far we can push that envelope, and we want to go there. But yeah, you can't even talk some of these conspiracy theories. You can't hashtag them. You can't even mention them without the Google algorithm literally taking you off the air. In fact, if all of a sudden I just go like this, then you guys will know exactly what happened. DMT and ayahuasca were spiritual technologies in ancient civilizations. Yeah, LiDAR technology is revealing in the Amazon that a lot of people thought civilization could not exist in the Amazon because of the nature of the soil there, because slash and burn technologies now have showed us that, you only get a couple of years worth of crops out of an acre of land in the Amazon before it just doesn't grow anymore. It relies upon the jungle until they found terra firma or terra negra. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a type of land that's able to maintain the bacteria necessary for cultivation that the Indians had developed locally. And they don't know where they got the technology from, but it's actually very conceivable now that there was a large harvesting population. And the very first European not settler, but the first European explorer that went through the Amazon talked about having large cities and massive villages, some of them 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 strong, that actually had armies and had hierarchies and had, all of the workings of a modern society cultivated through this terra firma and stuff like that. Now, he was coming down the Amazon. He was never able to go back up because he was detached from his group, and he had a small contingent of, I think, 20 or 30 other conquistadors. And he wrote a book on his travels there, but because nobody was able to actually corroborate his work for another 80 or 90 years, I think it was, since the next settlers that came didn't really find anything. They didn't go into the jungle very deep, but since they didn't see anything from the river, they thought he was just lying and he was making up stories and stuff like that. But those first settlers brought smallpox with them. And smallpox, 80 or 90 years, how many generations could have just been absolutely destroyed. Smallpox caused one of the biggest accidental genocides in South American history, brought by European conquistadors. And you can't tell me that in 70 or 80 years, 80 or 90 years, that couldn't wipe out an entire civilization. So I don't think you can say the first guy that came down the Amazon was a liar. Yeah, this is cool stuff. Marion H. calls it Lost City of Z. Rock on. I don't recall. Wait, what? Lost City of Z. Why is that ringing a bell? Tell me, Marion H. I was thinking of World War Z. Sorry, never mind. And not the Lost City of El Dorado. Let me see. Aztec and Inca was massive. Yeah, that's right, says Azruel. And it's only getting more massive by the year. Look up these LiDAR scans that they're doing of the Guatemalan jungle. I mean, they're finding massive pyramids, like comparable in size to Tenochtitlan or to Quetzalcoatl's temple, to the pyramids in Belize, and they're comparable in size and they're massive, and they're surrounded by other smaller mound civilizations and these huge structures, and it's all just because the jungle overgrows everything that you can't find them. But now with LiDAR you can. So we used to think there was 5,000 structures tops, and now they're thinking there's 500,000 structures in South America. We just got to dig them up. I mean, to be honest with you, if I had the money, I would actually become like a little Mayan Indiana Jones myself. You liked it. They say real aliens are in the fifth dimension, says Bruce Lee. Hey, dude, there's actually strong arguments for that, man. If you look at all the people in ancient scripture that say they spoke with God, they talked about going through a bodily transformation. And what's interesting when you study quantum mechanics, okay, basically the physics that postdate Einstein, quantum mechanic theory, which partially has been proven because it is based upon concepts that have been proven in the theory of relativity, okay, that we were able to prove with atomic clocks on Boeing airplanes and also placing an atomic clock on the equator versus an atomic clock at the North Pole. We've been able to prove the theory of relativity. And anyway, what quantum theory stipulates is the multi-universe theory, where basically things from higher dimensions can travel into lower dimensions or can see into them, but things from lower dimensions cannot easily see into higher dimensions. And this is illustrated very easily in the sense that we're four-dimensional beings, but in the common tongue, we're called three-dimensional beings because one of the dimensions is time. But when we think of something in 3D, we think of height, length, width, and then technically there's time, but nobody talks about it. So let's just say we're three-dimensional beings, that we have, you can feel us. We have depth, we have height, and we also have width, okay? Well, if a two-dimensional being were to walk through this room, okay, take my Yang sticker right here. Okay, this is a two-dimensional being. If this two-dimensional being were to walk through the room, well, what's going to happen? I'm going to be able to see this two-dimensional being, but he won't really be able to see me. Why? Because his world is this. A two-dimensional being sees everything only in one measurable quantifier, and that is height. The only way he could measure the attraction of a woman is by its height because it looks like a line to him. The only way he can tell his children apart from all the other lines is their height. A two-dimensional being is just going to be walking around like this, and he's only going to be able to see height. That's it, height and width, okay? Yet we could see him walking through our universe, and we'd say, hey, what's going on, man? And he'd be like, what, huh? I can hear you, but I can't see you. We'd say, oh, well, what's going on? I mean, I can see what you ate. It's in your stomach. We'd be able to see the contents in their stomach. We'd be able to see their lungs. We'd be able to see everything. Okay? And he'd be like, oh, I don't believe you exist. And I'd be like, okay, well, let me prove it. And I could tell him what kind of sandwich he ate that's sitting in his stomach. And he'd think it's a miracle, right? Be like, whoa, holy smoke. But how would I explain to him what three dimensions are like? He could say like, oh, I can hear you, but I can't see you. And we'd say, okay, well, look, we've got height. And the two-dimensional being would say, yeah, I get that. Okay, we also have width. Oh, yeah, I get that. Well, we have depth, too. And then the two-dimensional person would be like, depth? What's that? And how do you explain to somebody that only understands height and width what depth is? Blows their brain. You can't understand that if something goes this way and this way, that it also goes this way. They don't get that. So put yourself in the shoes of the two-dimensional person. What if we as three-dimensional creatures walk through a four-dimensional universe full of what we would consider angels if we were to meet them? Gods, titans, spirits. Those four-dimensional spirits could see into our souls, having probably mastered the function of time through whatever technologies that they have. They could know our sins we committed when we were children. They could know our very thoughts in our brains. And then they would try and explain to us, and they'd say, okay, well, you've got height, right? We'd be like, uh-huh. You got width, yeah. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Okay, well, you got depth? Uh-huh. Yeah, I got depth. Okay, well, we have... I don't know what is. You can't explain as a fifth dimensional being what the fifth dimension is to a fourth dimensional being. And you can't explain to a fourth dimensional being what a third dimensional being is. And the quantum theory allows for 14, 15, 20 different types of dimensions functioning all at the same time. Or worlds functioning all at the same time. So this is real stuff. This is real physics. This isn't pseudoscience, all right? This is like legit Nobel Prize winning physics right here that'll melt your brain out of your ears if you try and get a PhD in it. It'll literally melt your brain out of your ears. But it's real, man. It's real, and it's quite intriguing if you start considering the full extent of its possibilities. So anyway, oops, where's my little channel? Where's my, oh, shoot. What did I do wrong? Oh, dang it, I can't see the live stream questions anymore. Crap. What are the live stream questions? Anyway, Ron says, you or Cody alone equals just don't work. Carlos V says, great science class. Devin Hodges says, Cody is locked in the basement. Fang W, hey, thanks for the super chat, man. $5 saying, keep it up. Awesome. Hodges says he's a fourth dimensional person, and then seeing a whole new layer of Carden's mind tonight, says Eco Thunderbolt. Actually, this isn't my mind. This is the mind of physicists far more intelligent than I. It's really not possible with that 200 IQ, though. But anyway, I'm just kidding. That's actually a joke that goes back like months. If you guys got that one, that's really funny. This talk was better than the debate by far, says ZZ Topic. Thank you very much. And Marion H says, John, this is the highlight of the evening. I'm glad, I'm here to please. I'm here to please. Lee Ball says, listen, facts. Bruce Lee says, facts. And Kardyoshi 1 liked my whistle. So anyway, yeah, I'm totally willing to address all kinds of issues here. What do you think about Bigfoot? Says Carlos V. Actually, it's kind of funny. There were early Mormons that had postulated that Bigfoot could be Cain. I don't necessarily know exactly how I feel about that because I definitely think there was megafauna that existed in North America for much longer than we even realize. In fact, it's believed that humans lived side by side in Greenland with mammoths without even really realizing it because they were consolidated to the cold areas of the north. But it looks like the last mammoth died much more recently than we realized, like about 6,000 years ago. And who knows? Maybe there was other megafauna that survived in other areas. We haven't been to the bottoms of the ocean. I think it's possible, but I think most of the Bigfoot stuff is just lore and hoaxes. But it's a fun thing to keep alive in pop culture. You know what I'm saying? It's fun to just like tickle your noodle with the thought that it could be. But also, the North America continent is so settled in the areas that the Bigfoot lore comes from that a creature that needed that much protein to survive and had that much fur and that much biomass, we'd be finding feces, we'd be finding dead ones. And it's so easy to mistake so many other megafauna for Bigfoot that I think most people that swear they saw Bigfoot did indeed see something but wasn't Bigfoot. One of them actually could be bipedal bears. it was believed that bears could only walk on all fours, but now there's countless examples of bears actually going and walking long distances, like football fields, just on their hind legs in a very bipedal way so that they could use their arms to, excuse me, scrape for pine cones or stuff like that. So I'm pretty confident that most people that think they've seen Sasquatch have actually seen a bipedal bear, but I could be wrong. Marion H says the Bigfoot will show up for his freedom dividend. Yeah, that's true. And I guess the oceans are insane in terms of what we could find. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And that's actually why I'm such a big environmentalist. And that's one of the reasons why I supported Andrew Yang so much, because he actually seemed like he had smart reforms for environmentalism that would help. One of my biggest frustrations here in California is we have deep archaeological knowledge about the Aztecs that we have not preserved, that we let developers crash through all the time. In fact, the youngest woolly mammoth that we have found that shows evidence of humans using rocks to chop up its bones to get into the bone marrow inside was found when they were building a freeway to go to San Diego. We had woolly mammoths as far as nearly the Mexican border in the last ice age. And we have been run by Democrats since 1979 in a supermajority of Congress, okay? Passing all these dumb rules in the name of environmentalism, and we've done nothing to repair our coastlines. We still have unsafe drinking water in some areas. We still haven't interjected. You know the California flag? That bear on the California flag was a grizzly bear called Monarch that was shot less than 10 miles from my house in the 30s. Okay? I mean, the grizzly bear on the California state flag, okay, literally was from a population of grizzlies that lived within 10 miles of my house. And we don't have bears. We don't have anything. You can't go hunting here. Like, while other states are reintroducing megafauna and repairing their forests and things like that, California is doing none of that. And we're supposedly the most environmentalist state because we're run by Democrats? BS. You can't link me one good, solid environmental program that we're taking care of. We're poisoning our oceans here. All of our good aquariums are public-private partnerships. They're not government-run. You know, we have beautiful rivers, beautiful lakes, beautiful streams, 3 freaking national parks. And we can't protect any of this garbage? Come on. And we're run by Democrats. It's not like we're in some kind of, laissez-faire, crony capitalist Republican state. Republican states are actually doing a better job of environmentalism than the government, than the Democrat ones. I mean, California is a cesspool of just crony DNC single party rule garbage. And one of my biggest frustrations is the environmentalism that we have here. Our wildfires release more carbon into the atmosphere than 20 years worth of the trucks that we outlawed did. Yeah, burn, baby, burn here in California because we're run by idiots and babies. Okay. Anyway, did someone see the one about that scientist from Germany who spent 30 years in Turkey researching Göbekli Tepe? I'll look for the number for anyone who cares. Dude, hey, you guys got to look up Göbekli Tepe. It's like a 30,000-year-old. I'll have to look this up and double check just to make sure. But Göbekli Tepe totally changes the argument on whether or not we were a farming or a hunting gatherer people. Yeah, Göbekli Tepe, it's believed to be the world's first temple, and some people have put it as far as 30,000 years old. Predating Stonehenge by 6,000 years, Turkey's stunning Göbekli Tepe hurts the conventional view of the rise of civilization. This comes from Ask Smithsonian at smithsonianmag.com. So the megaliths at Göbekli Tepe predate Stonehenge by some 6,000 years. The only problem is how old were they saying? How long were they saying that Stonehenge was around? But yeah, I mean, this is changing the story. Look at this here. Radiocarbon dating indicates agriculture developed there around 10,500 years ago, or just 5 centuries after Göbekli Tepe's construction. So all of these smart A's that used to think that civilization was only 4,000 years old got shoved on their butts when Stonehenge was declared to be, 6,000 years old? And now they're saying that this is possibly 4,000 years old more or something like that. I mean, it's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. I mean, we're building these beautiful temples 11,000 years ago, back when supposedly we didn't even know, which one was our left and our right hand. Come on, that's the arrogance of man, as Cody puts it. The arrogance of man. That's why I like this guy. Cody's quickly become one of my best friends, man. So, anyway. Yeah, all right, that's it. I gotta go to bed, guys. My wife's gonna divorce me if I don't show some kind of what's it called? Responsibility here. And then who do I think won the debate? Bloomberg and Sanders. I think they did because Bloomberg had a strong performance and he was dogpiled on and he fought back. And then also Bernie Sanders was dogpiled on and he fought back. So, yeah, that's it. Anyway, Eco Thunderbolt says, what if Cardin's a Bigfoot trying to throw us off the trail by shaving himself? Yes, I'm totally sure the Sasquatch families have engaged in camouflage in order to hide themselves amongst humans. Maybe that's why some of our friends are so hairy. I got some Armenian buddies that are just hairy as heck, and I'm pretty sure that they're direct descendants from Sasquatch, and they're camouflaging themselves like Harry and the Hendersons in suburban homes throughout Southern California. Anyway, yeah, it's been great, guys. It's Problem Solver Politics. See you guys in the next video.